Where is that gym? We need that gym. Anyway, Jim's nowhere to be seen. Okay, cool. It is August 8th, 2017, 9:22 in the PM. It is the weekly Alaboom. I'm gathered here with the Wigster, the Keithster, and the Antnister.
Started out so well.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great. That was great from my point of view. Nailed it.
So, how's everybody doing? What's new?
Can't believe Gen Con is like in a few days.
Yeah, I get it on Wednesday. I know Keith gets in on Tuesday.
I get it on Tuesday.
I'll be there Tuesday.
That's right. Cool kids come in on Tuesday.
Well, hell, if you got there on Tuesday, Lance, we could all go grab dinner. I don't have Tuesday plans.
I have Tuesday plans.
You have Tuesday plans? Are you going to the zoo?
No, I have a meeting.
The zoo. Nice.
Geek Shake is going to have one more.
Wait.
One more last hurrah with their last.
I don't know if that was a Geek Chic reference or a Rocky 2 reference or Rocky reference.
I took it as Geek Chic reference. But
it was.
Hey, I heard that girl gets seen a little slow. You should take it to the zoo, Rocky.
I'm picking up a friend from the airport Tuesday night, but that's about it. Tuesday.
Now I know you're lying.
Acquaintance. How's that?
Yeah.
He's picking up very important men.
That's right.
Top men.
Top men.
VIGs all the way.
What was I going to ask you? Oh, is Tyler really staying with you?
We're waiting to find out.
We're not sure yet.
Interesting. We should invite him to be on.
If he can make it there, he's staying with us.
Well, if he can make it there, he can make it anywhere.
So what did he say? I just recently talked to him. He said that he was waiting to find out if he got time off from work, and if not, he was going to call in sick.
Yeah, I think he was waiting to confirm the people who had offered to give him a ride were still available to give him a ride. Other media people from the Ontario area. So
interesting.
Sure.
Well, maybe.
So when did you get in Wednesday?
I want to say like 10 or 11 a.m. Let me check my my plane tickets and itinerary informations. Having trouble finding it now, of course.
All right, while you're looking for it, there's apparently there is going to be some alleviation to the number of people at Gen Con this year. Okay, so if you've been following any of the posts anywhere about Gen Con, since things sold out, people are concerned about people ghosting.
Wait, well, time out. You're using all this terminology that I have no.
I'm going to explain to you what ghosting is.
It's like people that have to say that. Well,
can you let me do this professionally and say what it is and say if you don't know what ghosting is, and I'll explain it to you slowly.
It's like people who have to say gaslighting. I mean, it's like it drives me crazy when
Okay, so people who ghost at conventions are people who do not go with a badge, do not acquire a badge, but they go and sort of meander around the convention, the places that they can get to without a badge.
I call those cosplayers.
So it's not just the cosplayers. There are people who just go and hang out with the cosplayers, just go with their friends. Okay, so the thing that's always been the argument is that the convention center is public space. It's open all the time, whether there's an event going on or not, because people are allowed to walk through it, to pass through from go to one side of the building or the other.
Right.
So apparently what they've put into place this year is everyone is allowed to come in the building. But if you are loitering around and you do not have a badge, they will ask you to leave and continue on your way. So they won't stop you from coming in the building and walking through the building if you work there, which we've seen in the past. I've seen people who work in the area will take a shortcut through the convention center during the show. but they're pretty much going to try to keep as many people from crashing the party.
So as long as you keep moving, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my like three big things that this is ridiculous. Is one, who's going to do this? I mean, you never see security anywhere but at the doorway.
Okay. Well, here's the thing: they have hired extra people this year.
Okay.
To do this.
Two. You know, it's like, what is? There's going to be more people attending this Gen Con than any other Gen Con ever. They are never going to be able to cut down the number of people that are just wandering the halls. And as long as you're moving, what are you going to say? It's like, hey, what are you doing?
No, that's the point. They just don't want people like hanging out and having their own party in the hallway. If you look like you're moving and not like camping out and hanging out, because I've seen that too. 2 years ago, I don't know what friggin' stupid video game this is, but there was this one kid with no shirt on and this big ass stupid sickle in the friggin' hallway every single day, just standing there taking pictures. Never had a badge. And everyone's had to take his picture because I don't know whatever stupid game this was that he was representing, or anime or whatever the fuck it was. But he literally was in the hallway every single day. He was right outside the room where they have the video games, between there and where Greater Than Games' room was that year. And he stood there in that friggin' spot every single goddamn day.
Yeah, but what is he harming by being there, honestly?
Other than just taking up space and clogging up the aisle with the look at me, making people stop. That's the only annoyance for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I get it, but I don't get it, you know?
I just can't stand it in the main hallways where people are trying to get through, clogging this stuff. Otherwise, I don't care. Live and let live. I land in Indy at 10:37 a.m. So figure 45 minutes at least to get to the hotel. Check in and get to ICC. So I'm guessing I'll be in the dealer hall by noon. So you gonna holler at me when you're headed over so I can come help? Yeah. Sweet.
Hell, they'll be done by the time you get there.
What day are you guys getting in?
Help is code.
I get in on Wednesday. Everybody else gets in on Tuesday. I'm assuming you get it on Tuesday, Jim.
I'm going to get badges on Tuesday and set up on Wednesday.
Cool. So, Jim, you look down. What's up, man?
No, it's just been a busy day, and I got to teach a course tomorrow, so I've been kind of focused on that all day.
Oh, look at Mr. Teacher guy. Well, good for you.
Thanks. So, is there a day that I can have you guys out to the house?
What do you mean to the house?
To my house.
To Casa de Feli.
Well, how far away is it?
Anthony's got it.
It's like, what, 25, 30 minutes away from downtown or something?
Yeah, it's about that. From the convention center, it's pretty easy to get on the highway, and then it's pretty much mostly highway up to my place. So I'd say figure 25 minutes.
Well, I can say for me, no. I've got meetings from morning till night every day.
Look who's important.
My job.
This would be after the hall closes, obviously.
I mean, any night is theoretically possible. What do you want to do at the house? I mean, like, you know,
just have you guys over, have some drinks, chit chat. That's about it. I just thought it'd be nice to get together just as people.
I won't say no, but I won't say yes. You have to give me a definitive day, and I'll see what my wife wants to do.
I know evenings are when I have the only plans I have. I have math trade Friday, yada yada.
I now the Jim's here. Now the Jim's here. I want to do my before and afters.
Okay.
So I got 10 before and afters, and and carrying on with the theme. And I think before and after with theme. I think we should do themes with the before and after. I don't think we should do themes with initials, but carrying on the theme, I have 10 before and afters, and all of them have something to do with Game of Thrones.
Did we do that last show?
And there goes Jim.
Oh, where'd he go?
He left.
Oh.
You scared him off.
We'll wait for him to come back.
So speaking of Game of Thrones, I was thinking on Tuesday and Wednesday during setup to just walk around in the dealer hall with a bell behind people as they're going to their booths to set up and just start ringing it and yelling shame behind them.
What is
There he is.
Oh, Pete's sick and going to bed early, not gonna be able to watch for a little bit before bed. Pete, you should at least log in for the before and afters, but
do you like the way I dropped off as soon as I heard Game of Thrones?
We noticed.
You watch Game of Thrones though, don't you, Jim?
Never seen it.
Really?
Really. One of my great character flaws is that when something's really popular and everybody says you must do this, I refuse.
Except for Doctor Who.
That's truly wonderful.
No one's telling you must watch that show.
No one told me I must go watch that show. Plus, Doctor Who for me brings back, it's all memories of college as well, all woven into it.
Well, I don't think Doctor Who was being played in the 1920s.
It was Doctor Who? Who?
Hey, I'm going to time travel. See? Here we go.
He was intern Who back then.
What is it?
You mustn't go back in time. I got to do what I got to do.
Time.
Of course, now I have to find my before and afters. Hold on.
Hey, Aldi.
Aldi, what's up, buddy? Just in
Wednesday
time.
night. How about Wednesday night?
Wednesday night.
I'm ready to sleep. People can come. I'm tired.
Are you talking about now or on Wednesday night?
Yeah, I need to sleep now to catch up. This programming thing, man. All right, yeah.
Do you stay out late at conventions?
I don't. I do because I have to get up at 8.
Yeah, I wake up early and I stay out decently, but I'm not like the 3 a.m. person.
Right.
At all.
Joe,
we're trying to make the booth happen at 9.
Joe, let me give you an example. 2 years ago, about 8 o'clock, Scott and Lincoln wander into the huge gaming hall.
Yeah.
And are amazed.
Year before.
That was 2 years ago. They're amazed at how big it is. They've never actually seen it. Yeah. But the two of them look like it was 4 o'clock in the morning and they were on a bender. That's how freaking dead they looked.
Yep. I put everything in during the day. I give it my all.
Yeah.
So before I forget,
yes, sitting at that desk, clicking those buttons.
Well, that's only part of it.
You look so exhausted.
There's a lot of things you don't see.
What does the $87 million man need to do to just
I was having this discussion with Michelle tonight. I was wondering what the opinion was when someone walks by and sees me sitting at the desk, must be a tough life. Yeah.
We know it's rough counting that cash.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I mean,
fat stacks to build his throne.
Yeah, exactly. Just putting that money in the piles and making sure they don't fall over. I mean, that's rough stuff.
So before I forget, when you guys are thinking about meals, you guys know where the Fountain Square area is?
Yeah.
No.
We got a Kuma's burger here in the last year. It's absolutely fabulous. It's a
Kuma.
Yeah, it's cross between the place itself is like a cross between a diner and a biker bar. But it's they've got the best, I should say, heavy metal bar. But
whoa! Is that the same one from Chicago? It's like a heavy.
They've got one in Chicago
bar?
also. Exactly.
Yeah, that place is great.
They have fabulous food. I highly recommend it. So just keep that on your radar when you're looking for something to eat.
No,
$86 million.
Where's the fountain place?
Do you know where Rocket Fizz is?
Yeah, downtown. No. The Circle.
I know nothing.
No, not the Circle. It's
well, that's where Rocket Fizz is.
Okay.
Jim, how about we just go to that one night instead of your house? We just go to that really good dinner place some night.
Oh, that's fine.
I have a question though. Is this one as bad as the one in Chicago? Because the one in Chicago, you could barely have a conversation in.
I'm sure it will be at Gen Con time.
That was
normally it's not that bad, and you can eat outside. It's nice and quiet.
Yeah, that's my thing that was my only complaint about Kuma in Chicago was we would go there and you just couldn't even talk to each other because they had that heavy metal just blaring so loud.
The Iron Maiden Burger.
I like the Brew Burger place.
That place is great. I was just talking about that place
It's
earlier.
far enough away that you kind of get away from the riffraff.
If you want to get a really good burger or pork tenderloin or something like that, the Ice House is also fantastic.
This is great. I was just asking people about good places because I got like lunch meetings, dinner meetings, stuff like that, and I'm just trying to figure out some good
I'm
places.
keeping my meal time to a minimum this year. I'm gonna do the trucks and walk and do the hot games room.
All right,
Well,
so
if
if you're going to do
you're doing the trucks, then you're going to take more time than if you went to a nice place.
You think?
yeah,
Yeah.
I can finish in a half an hour.
I tell you what, if you're willing to walk 2 blocks to eat instead, you can get a sit-down place faster than a truck.
Mhm.
I bet.
Yeah, so that.
But if you are going to do a truck, then do a duo.
I can tell you where the secret pizza place is for lunch, but don't go there at 11:59 because they don't open the door until 12. Literally, they do not open the door until 12 on the dot.
What's a secret pizza place?
Oh, I'll tell you where it is. Literally, there's nobody there.
The Indian.
You can go
place
there
is
for
pretty
lunch
good.
at lunchtime.
So there's a Shapiro's. Never go there; they suck. But just down the street from Shapiro's is the Greek Islands, and they are an absolutely fantastic and reasonably priced Greek place.
Ooh, the Black Sabbath burger.
There's so many hidden gems, and never heard of any of these things.
It's nothing. I still Indianapolis. I've been to Gen Con like 3 times now, and it's nothing compared to Origins for food.
Oh, that's true.
No. Well, not for especially.
Well, that's that
But we're
short
not there.
north
We're
area.
not there for food.
I was pretty disappointed with Origins food this year.
Really?
We went to some bad places. Not my, you know. I mean, you choose a place, you waste a meal.
Holy cow, the Pantera burger looks great.
You're looking at the Kuma restaurant?
Not that close.
The Kuma? How do you spell it?
Kuma.
Just
Yeah,
Kuma.
just go to Kuma's
Not,
Corner.
Kuma.
Kuma'sCorner.com.
I was like, is it a?
KMS Corner.
Wasn't he an Akira?
Kaneda.
Kaneda burger.
So wrapping that now around a Japanese anime, I did watch One Punch Man.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give it a 7.
It's so good.
That's average, right?
Not as good as Death Note. Sorry.
I started
dude.
watching Death Note.
What did you think?
I made it about 4 episodes, and it was overloading me, so I kind of just took a break. I need to.
Okay.
It's good. It's a good premise. It's a very good premise.
Yeah, Death Note's good. But nothing compares to Cowboy Bebop. So,
See, I like Death Note better than Cowboy Bebop.
well, then you're dead to me, I guess. So,
So it's on
All right.
Prospect Street.
Yes.
Kuma.
yeah, those.
You'll want to Uber to that because it's not like super close.
See, that'll be out of my. That'll be just.
Uber's the
I'm
best.
trying to like. I got stuck in some long dinners last year, and I want to kind of not do that this year.
You know, it's like when you're at BGCon and you say, I'm not going to go eat anywhere. I'm not going to go eat anywhere. I'm not going to. And somebody goes, hey, we're going to go to the big giant barbecue place. You want to come with? And you're like, fine, let's
You're
go.
there for 2 hours.
Yeah, and
3 maybe.
you get there when it's so busy that by the time you finally get to sit down, your food's cold. And you're like, this would have been great food if it had been warm.
I don't know, man. I get to play so many games at home that I don't really care about like getting back to the convention and like getting more games in it, Gen Con and stuff like that. So.
For me, it's not even the games; it's just talking to the people. I mean, it's just like.
But that's why a meal's better, though. You can just like have some time, eat some food, enjoy yourself.
I like wandering. I mean, there's for me at Gen Con, there's nothing more fun than just wandering the dealer hall and talking to people. That I have more fun doing that than anything else.
Hey, Lance.
Hi, everybody.
Lance, did you catch Burger of the Month at Kuma?
No, what was it?
All right, it's the Scorched Tundra. It's only for August. 10-ounce beef patty, pork belly, chicharron,
Sold.
stout barbecue sauce, roasted jalapenos, and habanero mayo.
Done.
I'm so sold on that. As soon as you said chicharron and pork belly, it's
Take
over.
off the pork belly.
Hello, John.
I don't like mixing the meats. Hey, John, how's it going?
So you don't like bacon cheeseburgers?
Are you
living in a hotel? You know how it is.
Why are you living in a hotel?
Did you not see what happened to him?
No.
His house burned down.
Seriously?
Yes.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Did the
Technically,
Red Cross give you any room?
yeah. Where have you been, Lance? You're like social media man. Yeah. No. I'm on the short version of the full story is I'm on a workcation. Hey, Berkey, good to see you. I'm on a workcation here, and in upstate New York, we're taking a month off to visit Anne's family, and a bird built a nest in the porch light, and
that's what it was.
My mother-in-law, my wife's birth home, where we're staying, she lost a quarter of her home to fire, and the rest to smoke and water damage. Yeah, Gatekeeper Games lost over $10,000 in product. And Gen Con's in a week. That's how I'm doing. But things are good. Things are mostly really good. I mean, insurance is taking care of my mother-in-law. They don't want to take care of me. But so at least my mother-in-law is taken care of, and she'll be able to get her house rebuilt. And I made some really good friends, and I met a hero who was willing to run into the flaming, smoking building in order to save my child, who fortunately wasn't there. But he went in anyway, thinking that my son might be in there, and ran in to save the family, and ended up rescuing the dog.
We're glad you're okay.
Thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate that a lot.
Did the fruit basket make it?
What's that?
Yeah, what's in
The
John's
viewers
basket?
want to know if the fruit basket.
Whatever we left when we left it in California. I'm in Niagara Falls right now.
Well, seriously, we saw that, and our concern was out there, and we were really glad your family and everyone's safe. We really feel for you that you lost so much.
Thank you.
That sucks.
Yes. Well stated. Thank you very much, Keith. It really, 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 really does mean a lot. So people have been super supportive, and yes, people have been completely amazing. Completely amazing to watch the just people rally to support us. It's just I don't have sufficient words, and I almost don't want to talk about it because I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of the kindness and support and the kind words and the things and the offers that people have done. And I mean, I got a $400 pre-order today just because they saw the post and they wanted to help me and things like that. Like, it's just mind blowing, and it's stuff that I'm authentically not. Like, I'm not worthy of. Like, what have I done to earn that sort of support? Somebody going that far out of the way. Just people are great. People are great. We really do work in the best industry in the world.
Well, anybody watching the show needs to go buy some fucking John Ryan.
Yes, but is the did you lose any dice?
Fortunately, no. The dice are being shipped directly to Gen Con, so they're already in Indiana, so the dice are going to be fine. Most of what I lost was some of the final copies of the King's Armory. So we lost a ton of the final copies of the special edition of King's Armory and like a butt ton of the limited edition expansions. All the other expansions too, but the limited edition ones are even harder to lose. But
So why doesn't the insurance want to pay you money?
I don't know what their logic is. My mother-in-law's been talking to them because it's her insurance, but I think they're making the argument that we're guests and it's business stuff. So between us being guests and it technically being company product, they don't want to cover it, even though she agreed to store it. And the neat thing is, we have email proof she has stored. We have email proof of her, offering to, accept it and offer me shelf storage space and stuff on her properties, and blah blah blah. But I don't know. But we'll see what happens. The ambient noise, I see you guys talking about it. I mean, I'm in a hotel lobby. So, I mean, fortunately, it's in Niagara Falls, and Niagara Falls is kind of technically in the middle of nowhere. So,
Hey, I love Niagara Falls.
No, I love it too, but I mean, it's the middle of nowhere. So they gave me the remote to the TV, so I turned that down. Though there is a crying baby, I can't help that.
You're saying that's the guy that grew up in Buffalo.
Yeah, my wife grew up in Buffalo. I love this place. It doesn't mean that it's exactly the center of the most.
I'm sorry, that's exactly what it means. Ask your wife.
All right, I'll ask her if there's a lot of people here. She'll tell me about her 4,000 population town. But you're welcome. You're welcome to have your glorious opinion of it, Jim. And again, I love Buffalo. I love Buffalo. It's not, and we're not even in Buffalo proper. We're in Niagara Falls and the hometown.
You got to start at first level and work your way up.
We go to Niagara every year. So.
I thought the joke was like, say like, oh, you wouldn't know my girlfriend. She's from Niagara Falls. So. Anyway.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you're not saying. Apparently you don't. That's fine.
It wasn't funny. Don't worry about it, John. Your sense of humor is far too refined for that.
It's a line from the Breakfast Club. Hi, Kevin. Kevin left. I was going to say hi to Kevin. He's
like, screw this. No. Breakfast Club's a good movie, but
all right. So now,
the cool thing is, since I'm on the East Coast, I can actually join at a reasonable time. I have a substitute teaching my usual Wednesday karate class, and I'm on East Coast time, so it's easy to be here.
What's style karate, John?
John Fu. Just don't tell people at this point. It's really John Fu. I've been doing martial arts so long in so many different styles. I start the kids in like pseudo traditional karate, but we take the tradition out, so no long stances, and all of our drills are done in like an actual fighting stance and blah blah blah. But then by the time that they're done, by the time they make it to black belt, they need to learn everything that I've learned, or 98%.
So art style, sound style.
Yeah. So John Fu, which is basically based in Southern Shaolin Kung Fu, 5 animals, Wing Chun, Shina, Karate, Taekwondo, Tang Soo Do, Muay Thai. So they get the gamut.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So how's everybody else?
I'm sorry, I can't hear over the screaming babies in the background. What'd you say?
I said.
All right. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Hey, that's a pretty nice looking table in the background there.
Well, thank you.
What is that thing?
Well, that is the Baker Street Game Topper in all its glory.
Game Topper? What's that?
Well, you'll probably be seeing a whole bunch of stuff about that coming up pretty quick, because we are getting ready to go to Gen Con.
Woo!
Oh, I'm so excited. Yay! Let's all have a party. We should do an Alaboom from Gen Con. Here, look.
Well,
there I am.
If
you're in Niagara Falls and you want to come visit me, I'm in the lobby.
The one place we could do it, even though he's got $86 million, we got like 10 minutes of his time once for an episode. So
nice.
They kick us out of the hall. If we could stay there all night, we would do it.
We should do it like right after.
The thing is like I'm right to the bare minute. Whatever. I don't need to explain it. You know what to do. I have to tear all that stuff down within the small window they give you.
Hey, speaking of small windows, did you get my email?
Scott, are you talking to me?
Yeah, Scott.
I think I didn't.
You talking to me? I don't see anybody else here.
You talking to me? Hey, you talking to me?
Oh,
anyways, Scott, check your email.
I did get your email. I meant to write you back earlier, but I got busy.
It happens.
Do you want me to answer it publicly?
Yeah, I don't care. Especially if it's a yes.
Whatever, we can talk about it. I'll respond to you after.
At this time,
I wish I could do it, but I can't, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
It's just the timing of it.
Did you see XKCD, like the online comic, like a day or two ago? It was like it was just a guy like responding to an email, and it's just like, dear Tim, I am sorry it has taken me 2 years to respond to your email. I have just begun cleaning out my inbox, and I have to just admit that it goes to this big long thing. Ultimately, this is a problem I have as far as handling my email in a timely manner, and you shouldn't have had to suffer for this. And goes on the thing. It's like, so please accept my apologies. Now to your request. At this time, I regretfully cannot accept your LinkedIn request. It's like, so good.
His
That's very
Randall Monroe's password cartoon has become popular lately. You heard about the new password standard, right?
No.
So the guy, when they did the password standards back about 20 years ago, that's when they had the old put in a strange character like a $sign and a decimal point and a number and all these weird rules for passwords. And Randall Monroe came up with a proof, basically, if you will, that it'll take 3 days for a computer to crack that kind of password. But if you take 4 common ordinary words and string them together, and his was correct horse battery staple, it would take a computer 550 years to crack that. So now the new password standards that they just released last week are pick any phrase you like that you can easily remember and write it in all lowercase without spaces. And that's the best password you can get.
I don't know any of my passwords.
So you pick a password like, I really hate hot dogs. And that's a stronger password than any of these ones that your companies make you put in your computer.
Yeah. I highly endorse
really like hot dogs.
You highly endorse what?
LastPass with 2-step authentication.
I've used LastPass.
Because you could basically use a bullshit password for your master password. And the 2-step authentication can basically, it's an app on your phone, and you type in a code at the time you log in to unlock your master password, and your master password has all your passwords, and you basically let LastPass generate 32, 64, whatever long passwords. You don't remember them. And they have browser plugins, they have phone apps, and so you don't have to remember any password except your master password, which you have protected by 2-step authentication.
Never even heard of this.
And Gmail, if your Gmail is not protected by 2-step authentication, you should turn it on now. Or whatever your email is. Because if someone gets your email password, you're basically fucked.
It sucks if you don't have your cell phone there, though.
2-step authentication.
3-step.
What was that?
And how do you turn on 2-step identification?
2 steps.
So,
most banks
2-step authenticator. I don't know if you can see my screen. See all those numbers? You have to type those numbers in whenever you log in on a password.
There you go.
For all those different things I have. Gmail is number 1. So obviously you need a phone.
Yeah, my work has that now. Every time I log into my email, I have to have my iPad handy.
So even if your password is stolen,
yep,
they don't have the second step.
So you download an app on your phone, like, and then you
look for the Google Authenticator app.
What happens if you break your phone?
Yeah. Well, you have a printout of 16 recovery codes that you must store in a very safe place. On paper.
Like my gun safe.
On paper, yes. Because if you lose your phone, you can't authenticate.
And not in John Roth's house.
But if you have the paper, you have 16 codes that will authenticate.
And your phone will back it up?
Pardon?
Will your phone back it up so if you transfer devices?
If you transfer devices, you have to reset up a phone.
So, but will it remember
you have
those?
You have to reinstall the app, and you'll have to sync it to your 2 steps. Because it's based on time. Those codes that I just showed are only good for 60 seconds.
Or you can just turn it off.
So you're saying I shouldn't have written this down, thinking I could break into everything you own.
Yeah, you would also need my password.
You have about 12 seconds left, Lance.
You would need my
Start
password.
going.
Which is like
I know your password is I'm in love with Lance. Heart.
Yes.
Make sure it's all lowercase.
Besties.
Crap! I gotta change mine now.
Yes. Everybody, at the bare minimum, protect your Gmail with two-step authentication. Because
I just heard angels cry.
If your Gmail is hacked, you're in a world of hurt. Because you can reset every password from every account you've signed up with your Gmail, right? You know those things, right?
You said Google Authenticator is what you
Google two-step authentication. Two-step.
And then you get that on your phone, right?
So you'll have to install the app. It's called Authenticator.
It's like a Google app,
It's
right?
a Google app, yeah.
What if the app is actually stealing your passwords?
Oh,
Well, you don't type a password. You don't type a password to the app, and it has
to do.
So when you set this all up, it'll give you a QR code that you'll scan with the authenticator, and that syncs it.
Google's already stolen all of your passwords and like giving them to everybody that they need to. Like giving it to the Google app is the least of your concerns at this point.
This is like the end of the movie with the vampires, and all of a sudden, all your stuff is hacked, and you like go to the Google Authenticator. You're like, why didn't you? How did you do this? And you're like, you invited me.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably
That's
not
why
something
I
you really
use-
want to do it right now, Lance.
That's why I use paper.
Right, and then print out those 16 or whatever 32 recovery codes. Print hard copy and put it somewhere in a safe or in your wherever.
Fireproof safe.
So in a related story, the guy who came up with the whole thing about using the special characters in your passwords, like for work sign-in, came out and said, that was the stupidest thing I ever thought of.
Exactly.
Right, because it would stop brute force like words, right? Back in the day.
His point, he even came out and said, you really don't even have to change your password every month.
No.
So you mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 isn't good anymore?
That's the type of password in any.
Hang on, Bricky, say that
It's the same
again.
as my luggage.
Do you know what the funniest thing is? I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on so many passwords for things, but I don't even care if they freaking get the information because it's nothing they can take anyway. It's like, you have to sign in. Okay, I want to read this thing. I have to sign in. Okay, fine. Here.
Like BGG or something.
1, 2, no, not BGG, but like
BGG.
BGG 1, 2, 3.
you go to like sometimes you'll get something and it's like you have to log in and be able to look what the low price they're selling it for is.
Yeah.
So I like make up an account. I have an email account that I just everything I sign up for I use that email account. But I never care if they email me or not or they sell the spam because I think last time I checked it was like
padlock is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there was 27,000 emails in that
sweaty
box.
clothes. You can
Last
have
time I
them.
checked.
So the
All right.
second part of my password sermon is LastPass. And have it generate passwords for you so you don't have to make them up. And then you use that plugin. Now the only problem with that, and it's occasionally happens to me, is sometimes you might have to type in a 64-character password manually.
Oh no!
Because you don't have access to the internet.
Oh hell no!
Just it can happen.
We finally
Very rarely though.
we finally got printers at work where you can secure print and just scan your badge in. Which is awesome because I always forget to print stuff out when I'm heading down to a meeting. So now you can print it from any of the printers in the building.
Oh, okay.
It follows you around. So
That's high tech.
All right, I'm going to do
Any more questions about the LastPass and the
Nope.
two-step?
Oh, I probably have some later, but
it's before and after time.
before and after.
Actually, before you do before and after, I'm going to say goodnight.
What?
You suck.
I do. I got to teach you one more.
All
right. 1 minute past my bedtime.
Oh, Lance.
Goodbye, Jim. We'll see you next week.
No more
I'm
Doctor
so
Who.
looking
No Doctor
forward
Who
to
for
it.
you. No Doctor Who for you.
No Doctor Who for you.
There was 13 Doctor Who before and afters.
No,
Hey,
it's.
I got one word for you, and it's this one right here.
Oh my!
Oh, I'll see you at Gen Con.
I'll see you in Gen Con, big booty. Good night.
Later,
Good night, Mr. Tapestry.
Jim.
Is he going to have strippers at his booth again?
I'm going to have a dancer.
Dancers.
Dancer, stripper. What's the?
Thank you for calling the Best Western. Niagara Falls. How may I help you?
Where is the La Quinta? Is that right on the right on
It's-
3rd Street?
It's right at Niagara Falls Boulevard and the 190. It's brand new.
Oh, I know where it is.
I love that you didn't even try. You were like La Quinta.
They have waffles.
I don't even know how they pronounce it here.
La
Hey,
Quinta.
Nicole, how do you pronounce the name of the hotel?
Go to hell, John.
Oh, she totally does it right. She says La Quinta. I feel like I'm in.
The American way is La Quinta.
Yeah, she's making fun of you guys saying La Quinta,
I said La Quinta.
but I feel like I'm back in SoCal in the La Quinta.
Bring Nicole over there with that attitude. She wants to make fun of us.
Nicole, they want you to make fun of them to your face.
You can come over when you're ready. I've been
Are you
living
gonna-
here for a week, and I'll be here for another. So I know everybody in the building.
How many times have you been to Duff's?
Just once. Well, I
Okay.
mean, on this trip.
Okay.
Yeah, just once.
All right, before and after.
Before and after. I have 10 before and afters. This is not for anything but glory. They all are about Game of Thrones. They got Game of Thrones, and so I've themed this. Oreo.
Okay, can you explain before and after? Because I'm never here in time for this.
There's two things that are mixed together that share a middle. So if I said to you, well, give a good example, Anthony.
The person that runs Gatekeeper Games has this black metallic skillet.
It's pretty good.
And the
What
answer
are we
would
supposed
be,
to answer?
and the answer would be
John Wrought Iron.
Iron.
John Wrought Iron. See
Gotcha.
see how that works? All right.
Gotcha.
So these will
There's
have
mud.
each one of these will have at least, and these are kind of tricky. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to say that right now. Each one of these will have something to do with the Game of Thrones.
Okie doke.
Number one. From Bastard to King of the North to Counting the Animals in 2x2.
Aldi.
Aldi.
Jon Snow. Noah?
Eh.
That was pretty cool. I'll give you credit.
I don't know what else could it be?
From
Keith.
Bastard to King of the North to Counting the Animals in by 2x2.
Keith.
Keith.
Jon Snow's Ark.
Jon Snow's Ark.
Wait, Noah's Ark counted the animals 2x2?
Well, just
I agree.
Bullshit. I call bullshut on that one.
all right.
Jon Snow.
I'll give you both half a point.
No,
Yeah,
the correct answer is John Snow Jones,
There you
which
go.
is Noah's last name.
Yes. All right. The Kingslayer sings this. Hey, are you?
Oh man.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. The Kingslayer sings this popular song about getting in trouble near a school. The Kingslayer sings this popular. I'll give you this. The Kingslayer sings this popular Paul Simon song about getting in trouble near a school.
Paul Simon has a popular song.
Paul
Oh.
Simon's right.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Jamie and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Jamie and Julio down by the schoolyard. Correct. Hold up.
What?
Anthony.
Jamie and Julio down by the schoolyard.
That's popular.
It was a very popular tune right there.
To who?
Anthony.
What?
It was popular to Anthony.
Slick Rickon Stark.
No. The Hound finally got a good job.
Oh, Joe. Sandor Clee Gainful Employment.
There you go. Sandor click gainful employed. I also would have taken click gainfully employed, but yeah, there you go. Number 4. He died to the Strangler and played June Carter Cash in Walk the Line.
Oh, I know this.
The Strangler.
He died to the Strangler and played June Carter Cash in Walk the Line.
Oh, okay.
Joffrey what?
He died to the Strangler and played June Carter Cash in Walk the Line.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know who this is.
I'll walk the line once.
Baldy.
Joffrey Witherspoon.
Joffrey Witherspoon. Yes. Well done.
Well, get the Reese
Oh
Witherspoon.
my God.
What?
Nothing. You're stretching here.
Oh, is that Joffrey and Reese Witherspoon? Joffrey Witherspoon.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I thought you said. Favorite drink of Picard leads the Unsullied.
Keith.
Joe.
Oh,
Earl Grey Worm.
Earl Grey Worm. Correct.
You Earl Grey.
Permanently friend zone Westeros Knight lives in the capital of Vermont.
What? Say that again?
Wait.
Permanently
Aldi.
Aldi.
Jorah Mormont Pillier.
Jorah Mormont Pillier. Interesting.
That one was good.
That was good.
Interesting fact: Montpelier is the smallest capital city in the United States. It has 8,000 people to live in it. 8,000 only.
That's
in the capital.
like the
I'm sitting on one. I'm waiting for the clue.
All right. Stannis' Hand of the King likes hard butterscotch candies.
Oh, Joe.
Joe.
Davos C. Werther's Originals.
Yes, correct.
Nice.
Shut up. The Imp sings a well-known Willie Nelson song about traveling.
Oh, Joe.
Joe.
Teary on the road again.
Teary on the road again.
Road again. Lord, I can't wait to get on the road again.
Hold on one second. My lovely wife is here to talk to me.
You should come into Gen Con.
My wife will be at Gen Con.
Oh, all we see is a
Lance
dog.
is married to a dog?
Joe got it. My
Makes
wife.
sense.
I mean, it's the peanut butter that attracts her.
It's funny.
Aldi's hacking into the camp.
He didn't get his password protection yet, Aldi. Go now.
He's
Go,
only
Aldi,
got
go.
authentication.
Done. I got. I'm already on.
I don't know if you want to hack that cam. Remember, Lance is one half of that equation.
And the dog's the other half. So.
All right, shut up. Ha 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 ha. Number 9. And by the way, these are good. So
Anthony.
What Anthony?
Leon. Theon. Great Joy. Club.
What club? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. The eunuch enjoys listening to the Three Dog Night song.
Anthony. Theon, great joy to the world.
Theon, great joy to the world. Yes. I thought you. I
was thinking of a different eunuch.
I would have laughed so hard.
I was going between the two of them, but Joy Luck Club was funnier.
Eunuch.
I was thinking of a different eunuch.
Yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. Number 10. Being lawful good caused him to lose his head while carrying the final resting spot of the 10 Commandments.
Aldi. Ned Stark of the Covenant.
Ned Stark of the Covenant. Yes, that's absolutely correct. So there you go. That was 10 before and afters, all with the theme of Game of Thrones.
Did I win that? I got 3. Did I win?
There's no winners, but you win. It's for pride.
I know it's for pride. I want to know if I got the pride.
Yeah, you got the pride.
All right.
So, by the way,
it's the best you've ever done in a game show.
This is not a bad game right here, as far as Game of Thrones games go.
What is that game?
It's just like, yeah, it's just a quick little card game. And they have cool.
Oh, that's right. It came out last. It's Bruno Fiduti, right?
Yeah, and I think I don't know. Hold on, who is the designer?
Is it Cathala or Fiduti?
Yeah, Cathala.
It's a Bruno, and it's got cool art.
And I would venture to say it was rethemed to fit. I'm sure, but yeah, I mean, I like it's got like cool cartoon art for the people.
All right. Are we going into initials?
Is it your?
I have them.
Like here's the Mad King. Ooh, the Mad King.
Oh yeah, we can't talk Game of Thrones spoilers because I have a question because I guess I didn't realize something, but whatever.
Well, like I said, my review, my non-spoiler review of the last episode thing, how to have a battle where you want everybody to win. And that's that, and they did it really well. I was proud of it. I was proud of what they did.
I was a little pissed at the end because I was like, can't they just let it happen? Like, they haven't killed off anyone really important in a while.
Well, he can't. He's too important. I mean,
but that would just be like but that would be like the great moment to be like, yeah, we're still gonna kill people off.
Yeah, but you're missing the point, Joe. Is that like basically Gurm basically said this is how it ends, and this is who lives, and this is who dies, and they said the entire time that they are going to abide by his final vision. Now, the road it takes to get to there might be different than what the books are, but in the end, you know, character A dies at character B's hand, character C lives and goes and moves to here. That stuff they said they're going to abide by.
He's an executive producer of the show.
Yeah,
he has to be thumbs up, thumbs down.
So yeah, the character we're talking about story is so. I mean, it's the ultimate redemption story. I mean, you know, I mean it's. But anyway, we'll talk about it some other time. When I get my 20 American dollars from you. Well, I mean, we can, but I mean, it's spoilers. I mean, right?
Nobody's dead yet. Nobody died.
Well, no.
Yes.
Nobody died.
Well, I mean,
maybe.
See,
Noah Syndergaard died.
Okay, see, I don't necessarily
Did Dickon die?
Did you see Noah Syndergaard in the scene?
No.
Who the hell is Noah Syndergaard?
One of the pitchers for the Mets.
Oh yeah.
Oh so yeah, that's right.
Pretty much this entire season and the next one are all just people who are celebrities in other walks of life, who are fans of the show, who are just taking cameos.
Okay,
La Quinta.
La Quinta, we have waffles.
I don't understand the entire spoiler mentality that's out there.
They do have waffles.
You cannot talk about the show in any way because it's like to say at the end of The Sixth Sense, you know, like, oh, Bruce Willis was dead the entire time.
Oh my God!
What's going on here?
That's a spoiler. But to be like, oh, there was a really awesome battle scene.
And Joe with the Friends reference.
Yeah.
I love you even more, Joe.
I just don't get how people, like, if you say anything, it's a spoiler. It's so stupid.
Because it's you want to experience it, right? They want to experience the show and have it, you know.
Yeah.
I was watching that battle, and you're watching certain people having their part and doing it, and you're just like, oh geez. You know, you're like, is this going to be it for that person? Is this going to be it for that person? You're like, it's well done. I mean, it's like you've invested in the characters, and if somebody comes out and says, oh well, yeah, it looks like this person dies, and you know, and you're going to be so impressed, it's like, no, you're taking away from that experience that person gets.
The thing is, we're into season 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not watching it weekly now,
you don't really care.
You don't care about the show.
It's
or
like
you can't get HBO.
You get like a.
That's not necessarily true because Pete just jumped on the bandwagon. What, 3 weeks ago?
No, Pete's an outlier.
Yeah, and Pete didn't care until.
That's the whole.
True.
That's probably why he's not here. Is he's afraid of Game of Thrones spoilers.
No, he's working.
Yeah.
But
so
he's like a publisher that has
I
work to
started
do.
bitching about tactics, though. I'm like, there are way better ways to do this battle than how you're doing this, and that's what I did the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You were armchairing generaling it?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, you need a general that knows what the hell they're doing because you're an idiot.
Can we talk about the show, or we're not going to talk about the show?
Well, we're kind of talking about it.
I will say though that battle was not the best scene in that episode.
What?
What?
The scene where Arya's training was the
Yeah,
best.
That was
scene.
pretty good too.
I
That was
love
pretty good.
That was the best scene.
And when
That
another
was-
character kind of swallows
No,
the
no,
lump
no,
in their
no.
throat.
I disagree.
I disagree. The battle at the end was a way, way better
Yeah.
scene.
Dude,
No,
I was like, it totally caught me off guard. Like, I didn't think they were going to go that hard in the show that quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I
guess
was happy.
it's a short season, right? It's only like 6 episodes or something. 7.
Well, yeah.
Oh, geez, it's almost over.
Yeah, there's only like
That
three
scene with
episodes
Jamie's
left.
end might have been
I-
my favorite scene from the entire series so far.
Which
Like,
scene?
The scene at the very end with Jamie. I'm not going to say
Oh,
anything
yeah,
more
of
than
course.
that. That was incredible. I was like, oh my God, is this about to happen?
So here's
No,
my
it-
tactics thing with that.
We're getting the payoff for the 7 seasons. Go ahead, Keith.
If I have a Death Star, I use it first. I don't throw all my TIE fighters at the other shit. I start with the Death Star, then I use the TIE fighters to mop up. That's how you fight that battle. That's it.
Yeah, but
Well,
if you don't have the TIE fighters and they focus all the attacks on the Death Star
Exactly.
Not at night when you can't see it and it's the element of surprise.
but they were
That's a good
almost
point.
but they were almost they
Light
were
is on the
lining,
ground, dark.
But then you
in
can't
the
see
air,
anything.
you
lining
can't
up,
see the
they
sun.
were-
But that was episode 1 of the season.
they were
right? It was at
lining
night.
up to get into. They were lining up to get into King's Landing where it would be tougher to do it.
Right. But the other thing is, if you notice what the targets of the Death Star are throughout the majority of that fight, it makes more sense.
Yeah, I'm just saying, our armies camp. You get them when they're camping. With the element of surprise you have, they can never even retaliate before they're
But-
just gone.
But at the same time, they were trying to get into the city, and the main focus is she didn't want to take that to the city.
Yeah, but you do it a day ahead of time.
Yeah, you noticed there was a line where the gold had been secured.
Right, right.
And
Yeah,
I'm glad
the
they
gold
actually
was
said
secured.
that.
The gold was
They
secured,
said
but
that
not-
on purpose.
Not the food. Not
They
the
said that on purpose.
But Keith, they couldn't have done it a day ahead of time,
Why is that?
just based on time itself.
Well, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You're in Greyjoy.
Like, they
You can
care
travel
about
all
time.
over the world in a day.
Yeah, but they used the realistic time in that one.
But they used realistic, and they traveled at night to be there when they got there.
Yeah, but the Death Star could travel faster than them.
So one thing I have to say,
But
Whoever-
they can't send the Death Star by itself.
Sure, they could.
That was that was their whole point, because they talked about using the Death Star earlier, and
Yeah,
they
but-
said you can't send the Death Star by itself.
You can at night. That's all I'm saying.
whoever came up with the stirrups that they were riding with, are those a real thing? The stirrups where you can stand on a horse's back and not
Yes.
fall off?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I think so.
Amazing. Perfect.
Yeah, watching the
That
Dothraki
gave me
fight was
chills.
that was really good.
Even my wife said it was like, here's this giant army that had been spoiling for a fight for how long, and they finally got
Yeah,
it.
the entire 7 seasons.
I mean, there was no part of that did not pay off well. You're like the entire scene was just payoff after payoff after payoff.
In the end, my bitches are just about tactics and what makes more sense from a casualty standpoint, but it would make for really shitty TV. So I know why it really happened.
Just a black screen with fire. That's it.
I would have
I'm like,
almost. I would also hunted down you on Greyjoy first too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll
It was pretty awesome. That whatever they did with the backdrop too was cool. Like it's like in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
With the huge cliffs in the back. Really cool.
I'll tell you my favorite thing I've seen all week since the show though is the stars of the show's Facebook posts to each other are fantastic. And if you haven't seen any of those, they're worth going and looking for. There are some really good ones between Kit
Yeah.
Harington and Daenerys and some others. And between Tyrion and Kit, they're just hilarious. They're just little inside jokes. Well, they're not inside jokes anymore, but they're picking at each other. It's pretty good.
So, okay, this is not really spoiler. So we know now that Jon Snow is part Targaryen.
How do you know that?
From the Braun Works.
From the Dream.
That was like 2 seasons ago.
That was last season.
It was the very end.
It was like, was it?
That was the last scene of last season.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh yeah, that's right.
So,
but they barely flashed. That's like 1 second on the screen.
And that's, if I remember, that's her.
Over a year ago.
So Rhaegar is his father, and Rhaegar is her brother, right?
He has the better claim to the throne, basically.
Yeah, I'm more referring to the fact that they're all looking at each other like longingly in the cave, like they're attracted to each other.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's your aunt. So.
Yeah.
No,
he doesn't know that though. Nobody knows it.
Yeah,
it's his.
If you don't know, it doesn't count.
Wait, it's the aunt? I thought it was a brother.
No, because Rhaegar is her brother, and Rhaegar is his dad.
Yeah, because
Is Rhaegar the gold crown guy?
Rhaegar.
No, that was
Lyanna.
Viserys.
Rhaegar's
well, no, actually, you don't know. If, there's like a rumor that like they were in love and stuff like that. If you read the books, it actually makes it sound like him and Lyanna were actually like secretly seeing each other.
Yeah, not so. Okay, raped was the wrong word. They weren't. He was not their legitimate child.
That's correct. Like he's their bastard or whatever.
Unless, I mean, Rhaegar wasn't married, was he? So unless he was.
Yeah, he was married, wasn't he?
Let me think here for a second, and also cheat and look it up.
The 2 babies that were killed by the mountain during the sacking of King's Landing when the Mad King died, was that the Mad King's kids or was that Rhaegar's kids?
Okay, Aerys II had Rhaegar. He had Daenerys,
and the husband of Elia Martell.
Yes.
Okay, so he was married. So it is. So Jon Snow is a legitimate bastard.
Correct. So Rhaegar had Jon Snow, who is like. So then, if they're actually going to go along with this whole like we're attracted to each other and aren't you hot and all this stuff, then it's like so you're banging your aunt. All right, well.
I mean, some people
there's no time for that.
Half ants.
It's Game of Thrones. Do we expect something else?
Wasn't Jamie in bed with Cersei last episode?
Yep. All I'm saying is, Lance, you never had an aunt that hot that offered it up to you, so you can't talk.
How do you know? You don't know me.
I know that.
He's saying he's looked at the pics of your family reunions on Facebook, and
you know what? My dad's brother didn't show up, and along with my aunt and all of their kids. So there.
Take that.
You know what? You know what? I'm sorry, Lance. You're right. You could have totally had sex with any of your hot aunts.
All right, time for initials.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying you don't know initials. Trying to think. Hey, Cheech, how's it going, buddy?
Not too bad. Just set my brain on fire with Lisboa, but I'm good.
I thought you were going to say
you got your copy?
completely different than Lisboa.
Was it charred?
But smoke. That's smoky flavor. That mesquite.
Can we not talk about things burning?
Yes.
Please? I'm just kidding.
Wow, you're the second board game publisher this week to get burned down.
Oh.
That sucks. Man, the fire.
Wait, who else had... Wait, what?
Yeah, Eagle Griffin burned out. They lost their entire European...
Oh dear, when was that?
Wow.
Last week.
Oh my god.
Was it their entire print run for Europe?
Yeah.
It was the entire print run for Europe.
Their warehouse burned down in China.
Holy Nikes.
So we have 2.
Well, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but people aren't
has to
living
pay
there,
for it, right? I mean, it's like so they'll just reprint it. It'll just take a long time for them to get that.
Actually,
stuff.
I wanted to talk about that for 1 second, John. Like, what would have? So if people are board game publishers and they're like indies like you, getting like a rider on your insurance would have helped you. To have, like, is that you really don't know the results yet?
You know, the weird thing is the carryover through my mother-in-law's insurance. If I had my own business insurance, then it wouldn't really be an issue. It would follow me. It would follow the product. But with respect, I'm not quite big enough yet to have my own business insurance, especially right now, kind of between stocks. So just didn't expect. I mean, who expects your mother-in-law's house to light on fire? So you figure your stuff's going to be safe. So I mean, I mean, if I understand your question correctly, the answer is business insurance.
Right, but a lot of people put their own house, put their stock in their own.
Right.
Houses.
There's no definitive.
And renters insurance will not cover it.
If
most companies' renters insurance will not cover company product under any circumstances. So I don't know what the rules are for homeowners, though.
Yeah, and for a homeowner, it would have to be stored in your own home to have any sort of claim to it, and then again, you could still get denied for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of homeowners just completely screwing people just straight up.
They just
like
any reason to avoid paying.
Yeah.
So, Forrest, I have a question for you. So, did you buy an old wooden desk
Forrest.
and you're cutting pieces off and selling it as pieces of the cross or Babe Ruth's bat and mailing them out to people?
That's none of your business. That's neither here nor there. Let's get to initials.
Does anyone know what movie that's from?
No.
By the way,
No.
you'd have to be in your 40s to know that movie.
Wait, what was the reference again?
So the guy in the movie, the main character is making money he has an old wooden desk and he cuts splinters of it off with a knife and puts them in envelopes and sells them. And he has two advertisements running at the same time that you can buy a splinter of one of Babe Ruth's bats or a splinter from the cross. And the funny part is he's got them in little like plastic baggies, and his girlfriend comes in and starts moving stuff around. He's like, "Hey, don't mix those up." It's Tony Danza movie from like 1980 called Going Ape. When he inherits a orangutan from his uncle.
That's why you win these initials things. Yes. You can remember that stuff.
All right, initials.
So who's running initials, by the way?
I am running initials. That's why I've been trying to start it.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to run it, and then I wasn't here, and then we did the whole Gen Con thing last week.
You can't possibly be as good as my 10 before and afters.
Probably. All right. So if you want to guess on somebody, tweet at me your guess. I have 15 and a tiebreaker if we need it.
Keith 6.
All right. The initials tonight, so you have 30 seconds to think of stuff, are C, T, C as in cucumber, T as in tarantula.
Lance, cucumber, tarantula.
Cat tranquilizers.
All right, there goes the tiebreaker.
Oh,
hey, that's one.
I've got one. What? No, wait. I got. Oh well. Oh man, I don't. Two. I got two. C T.
I'll give you a couple more seconds. I'll drink some water. I don't think we're going to get to clue 5 on any of these. That's my bold prediction.
I'm calling bullshit on that.
I'll take that bet.
I got 4. I got 4 things written down.
I got 1, and there's no chance it comes up.
All right. Here we go.
Jared Leto.
Item number 1. Item number 1. Originated in Coleman, Alabama. Struggled in school due to ADHD and dyslexia.
Keith.
Keith.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum is correct. Wow.
I was gonna do that to the first guess.
Come on, that's got to be just a
an accomplished dancer who was first appeared in the video for "She Bangs" by Ricky Martin.
Oh yeah, She Bangs.
Spent many years as a fashion model for Abercrombie Fitch, Nautica, Dolce & Gabbana, and others. It's been a police officer, soldier, cowboy, and my name's Jeff. All right, number 2. Get on your buzzers. Originated in South Africa.
Keith. Charlize Theron. Okay.
I knew someone was going to do that. Their motto is Spes Bonus.
And I'm back.
Nicknamed Tavern of the Seas. Has a population of 433,688.
Aldi. Cape Town.
Cape Town is correct.
I couldn't think of the name. Damn it.
Spes Bonus means Good Hope.
I thought you said
Should have go to 5
got
quarters.
excited.
And despite its name, it's not the home of superheroes. Welcome to La Quintas.
home of the Belgian waffle.
We have waffles. All right. So
Dude, they really do, and they're really good. So shut up and be jealous.
Number 3.
We don't get no waffle at the Hyatt.
Item number 3. Their mother shot and killed their father when they were 15. She was cleared of all charges. A few months later, they won a modeling contract in Italy.
Oh, shit.
At 17, moved to New York to join the prestigious Joffrey Ballet School in New York. Fuck. First film role was in Children of the Corn 3. First speaking part was in 2 Days in the Valley, where she caught the eye of many other Hollywood directors.
Aldi.
Charlize
Theron.
Charlize Theron is correct.
Damn it. I should have buzzed back in.
I know. You should have buzzed back in.
And I still don't know any of them.
The only thing that I knew was 2 Days in the Valley.
Aldi has 2.
What?
Commanding lead. Aldi's night. I can feel it.
Oh, no.
All right. Item number 4. Has different meanings in the U.S. and the U.K. Can be friendly or hostile. Often used to eliminate competition.
Lance.
Cheap Trick. Byproducts include lack of motivation from employees or straight out elimination of jobs. Final clue. Example in our hobbies include Asmodee's purchases of FFG and Days of Wonder.
Keith.
Corporate
takeover?
Corporate takeover is correct. All right, Keith 2, Aldi 2.
I'd like record to show my buzzer's not working.
Okay. Try Lance, buzz in. See if you can say your name. Lance, can you say your name?
Julio. Welcome to La Quinta.
We have waffles. Oh, it's a busy night at La Quinta Inn. All right, here we go. Number 5. Originated in Pinpoint, Georgia. Has a 15-cent cigar sticker affixed to his Yale law degree to remind himself of the mistake he made by attending. Keith.
Clarence Thomas?
Clarence Thomas is correct.
Son of a bitch.
He hates the fact that he has a Yale law degree because he got into Yale the year they put affirmative action in there. And he couldn't get a job because they thought that he didn't actually do well, that he just got good grades because he was African-American. All right, Keith with 3. Right, Keith, you got 3?
Yep. 3.
Aldi has 2. Here we go. A small, narrow part of a common mechanism. Its shape and width change with movement of the hands. If someone ever says they have this, you can respond by saying, yeah, I know, everyone has 2. Well, except Charlize Theron in Mad Max Fury Road.
What?
Do I have to repeat that one? Okay.
Yeah, it got cut off for me.
All right. If someone ever says they have this, you can respond saying, yeah, I know, everyone has 2. Well, except Charlize Theron in Mad Max Fury Road.
Well, I heard none of that.
Its most common ailment is caused by swelling of one or more of Keith.
Carpal tendons?
Aldi.
Aldi.
Carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel is correct.
Sorry, Keith. I stole it from you.
I was looking for a body part instead of the disorder.
Yeah, everybody has a carpal tunnel in each of their wrists.
That's all right.
Carpal tunnel syndrome is when the tendons that go through there.
That I ever asked you.
All right, 3-3.
Specialty.
The pitcher's duel. Lance, you want to say your name and make sure you remember it?
Henry.
None of
here we
these
go.
have to do with Game of Thrones. I'm just saying.
Next one. Here we go. Born Harold Lloyd Jenkins.
Keith. Conway Twitty.
Conway Twitty is correct.
Yeah!
Has been married 4 times to 3 different women. First major success came when radio stations kept playing the B-side of his single "I'll Try." He's a recurring cutaway joke on Family Guy. All right, here we go. Keith's pulling away. Let's see.
With 1.
Originated in 1901.
Oh.
Claims to have played professional basketball from 1918. Lance.
Chuck Taylor.
Chuck Taylor is correct. This is actually cool. He claimed to have played professional basketball from 1918 to 1930 with a number of teams, including the Buffalo Germans and original Celtics. The next clue was, if he did, it was under an alias because his name appears on none of those rosters. All right, Lance on the board. Gonna wait. Oh my God, what's going on? All right, here we go.
You step into a rave for a second.
There was like a cattle drive going on.
I heard an air horn, I swear.
That one wasn't me.
All right, here we go.
There's no air horn going on over here.
All right. Here we go. Originated in Minnesota.
John. Lance Meister.
No.
Fargo.
Suck.
Began their career at age 17. Is often credited with saving Sears from going out of business in 1980. Keith.
Cheryl Teagues.
Cheryl Teagues is correct.
What?
Wow.
Her clothing line in 1980 is credited for saving Sears from going out of business.
How do you even know that, Keith?
I just remember her in Sears catalogs. I heard Sears.
Sure you do.
Liar. Lies.
Okay. It's pulling away. They eat my dust. Next one. Originated in 1880 in Great Britain. Often includes various departments responsible for different aspects. Its 3 main elements are planning, preparation, and tactics.
Forrest.
Forrest.
Counterterrorism.
Counterterrorism is correct.
Wow.
Good job, Forrest.
Nice.
I get more towels? It's funny because we can be heard in the lobby, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Who's got the freaking air horns?
All right, here we go. Originated in Castro Valley, California in 1964.
Joe.
Joe.
Cheap Trick.
Here's the running theme clue. In 1986, his mother was acquitted of killing her second husband in self-defense.
Lance. Chris Tucker?
I was going to go with one or the other of those, so.
Got into comedy after falling into a bonfire in a drunk stupor, which he miraculously survived unscathed.
I would probably have guessed Chris Tucker for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
His comedy is often dark and about his dysfunctional family, which he later took to from the small... Keith?
Christopher Titus?
Christopher Titus is correct. Which he took from the small stage to Fox TV from 2000 to 2002. And he can be seen as the host of the pornography game show on the History Channel.
Oh, I would have got it there.
Never heard of him.
If you saw him, you know who he was. You probably wouldn't remember his name, though.
Oh, good thing you chose him for initials.
All right. This one has the best clues ever. I'm telling you right now.
Cheap Trick.
Here we go.
Oh, never mind.
Item number 1. No one knows exactly when they originated. Or do they? Once limited to fringe audiences, has become commonplace in mass media. They only need one thing to grow and spread, and that is viability. Stanley Kubrick has been implicated in one. Aldi.
Conspiracy theory.
That's correct. And the last one was a popular one is that Anthony gave Keith the answers before the game.
That's not a 3. That's the truth.
All right. That's 12 questions, right?
Initials is an inside job.
I have 1, 2. I have 3 left in the tiebreaker. Yes.
Right. And it's 6 to 4 to 1 to 1. So Aldi can beat me if he runs the table.
Come on, Aldi.
Go, Aldi.
Okay, here we go. Born and raised in New York City, 5 years after her father arrived on Ellis Island. Became a very popular fashion model before making... Keith.
Cicely Tyson.
Cicely Tyson is correct.
What the? Who even is that?
Tyson? Only one I had written down.
Became a very popular fashion model before making the jump to acting. Was married to Miles Davis at the home of Bill Cosby. Has won numerous awards, including a Tony, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and 3 Emmys. 2 for the same part. Big voice in the civil rights movement. She's also best known for portraying Coretta Scott King and Jane Pittman.
You say so.
You know who Cicely Tyson is?
Nope.
It's on my list.
You're horrible people. She's an American treasure.
What is that?
You've never seen the Jane Pittman story?
Her and Christopher Titus.
Oh my
What are you
god!
talking about?
Christopher Titus was not on my list.
All these names, they're just like, it couldn't mean anything more to me.
All right, here we go.
It means nothing to me.
Here we go. Originated in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh my god! Vacate. All right, originated in Atlanta, Georgia.
Joe.
Chris Tucker is correct.
That's because I just stuck it up on my screen.
People he considers among his closest friends are Bill Clinton, Jackie Chan, and Michael Jackson.
Well, that one would have been easy right there.
In 2007, was briefly the highest paid actor in Hollywood. Wow.
Really?
Good for him.
He got $27 million for the Rush Hour 3 or 2 or whatever. He got 50. He got
What garbage that was.
He got paid $15,000 for Friday.
Friday was great.
And the last clue is: do you understand the clues that are coming out of my mouth?
Nice. Did you who saw
There's one left, I think.
who saw Silver Linings Playbook, which wasn't a bad movie at all?
It was good. It's all right. It's good.
Did anybody else but like halfway through, I was like, "Holy shit, is that Chris Tucker?" That was like that moment where I was like, "Oh wow, Chris Tucker's in this movie." That's where he's been.
I think Chris Tucker is a really good actor, but
Just
sometimes I just wish that Chris Tucker just wouldn't be so Chris Tucker because he almost like ruined Fifth Element for me.
But Silver Linings Playbook, he wasn't Chris Tucker. He was just
the movie that never got made that I wanted to see him in was there's a book called Mr. S. Is written by the guy who was like the valet or chauffeur or whatever of Frank Sinatra during the Rat Pack years, and he was supposed to play him in the movie, and it never got made. But, all right, here we go. Final regular clue. Originated in 1940. Made its U.S. commercial debut in 1953. Forrest.
Color television.
Color television is correct.
Good job, Forrest.
The 1954 Tournament of Roses parade was the first to use the technology, although the majority of the people watching couldn't see it. So, what's the final score, Keith?
7-4 to 2 for Forrest, 1 Lance, 1 Joe.
Yeah, I got on the board.
Bronze, baby.
I almost buzzed in just to guess Captain and Tennille just because.
All right, so the tiebreaker was
cat tranquilizers.
No, hold on.
Wow. No. What?
All right. Born in Rockledge, Florida, with the given name Scott Thompson.
Chris Tomlin.
Was given his stage name by his high school swimming coach.
Still Chris Tomlin?
Forrest. Corey Taylor.
Forrest. No.
Is it just me or is Anthony turned into John Lovitz?
Is surprisingly buff.
Carrot Top!
Carrot Top is correct.
Oh, yeah.
I had that one board game, Cirque Terry. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Cinque Terre?
That's that one. I don't know if that would come up. That's the only board game I could think of that has CT.
Lance is just upset it wasn't all people.
How would you dare think a board game could be mentioned on this show?
Most people try to do one.
I always do at least one.
Yeah, try. Lance.
I'm gonna expect Lance to know a board game. He doesn't know who Cicely Tyson is.
I don't know who it is either. I
didn't use TE when I do initials.
At least 3 of the 4 names. 3 or 4 names I didn't know.
I cannot do initials. I mean, seriously, like 90% of all the people mentioned in initials, I have zero knowledge of. Like zero.
Aldi,
No.
have you seen The Help?
No.
You've never seen The Help?
No.
What else? Because you may have seen. Did you see Fried Green Tomatoes?
No.
See, here's the thing, though. I've seen a lot of those movies, but I don't know all of these actors and actresses in them.
Why not?
Because it's just...
You should take a pen and a piece of paper and take notes while you're writing them. So you have them for initials.
Who played Luke Skywalker?
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Who almost played Luke Skywalker?
Chris Tucker.
The entire band of Cheap Trick.
No, William Catt.
They were gonna trade in and out like the
William Catt, the greatest American hero.
Like you said, William Catt, like everybody knows who that is.
Believe it or not, George, it did it.
You gotta be on, dude. I so want you to be on Jeopardy. It's not even funny.
Do you know who almost played Han
Solo?
Han Solo?
A couple people almost played him.
Nick Nolte was one that almost.
Jeff Bridges was one.
Yeah, and then like, if I remember, one person couldn't make it that day to read his lines, and Harrison Ford was like painting.
He was painting, yes.
Yeah, he was painting the house, and he had done some work for him before in American Graffiti, and he just said, "Can you come in and read the lines?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
Ooh, I love American Graffiti.
I think in the they have posted some of the auditions, like the read-throughs, and I think he's actually reading with William Catt.
Holy cow!
They travel in single file to hide their numbers.
PAX Unplugged just released their list of vendors.
It's been out there for a little while.
There's a lot of people on here.
Huge.
Well, you got to fill a convention center.
I heard that they were actually paying for all of the dock fees to deliver all the product for all the board gamers, all the game publishers.
Yes, they are. They're paying all the drayage fees for this year.
Wait, who's doing what?
Must be nice.
So at PAX Unplugged, they're paying the union to bring the stuff to everyone's booth and take it back.
Well, this is exciting. This is close to my house. I'm gonna go to this.
I mean, that's how somebody runs a.
You think they'll get Cokes, unlimited Cokes too?
Yeah. Oh wow, unlimited Cokes.
Unlimited Cokes?
Nice? Wouldn't that be nice?
Nice.
Wouldn't that be nice, Aldi? If we could just get unlimited Cokes, wouldn't it be great?
I mean, $50,000 to PAX apparently is no big whoop.
If if like a convention center just knows what they're doing and
Hey, shut up and drink your pink lemonade.
Shut up. Eat your peanut.
Eat your
peanut.
Eat your
peanut.
You're allowed one bag, sir. Put the other one back.
Hey, Anthony, I know you were talking about this, you and Lance were, but did either of you back this the Mythic Battles Pantheon?
I backed it.
I didn't.
Did you guys back it for everything?
I did some work for them, so they just said back it for $1 and we'll give you everything. So
do you see how much stuff this is?
Just us.
Have you guys seen like the size of like that pile of stuff that's getting sent out?
Yeah, but a lot of that was add-ons too.
So I boiled down 2 huge, gigantic boxes of Cool When You're Not into one Plano box. You could fill it with air. I mean, those minis. It seems to be like you can put 4 minis in a box and it'll be this big. I mean, that's the standard. Like all the Conan stuff is massively huge. Like the boxes are 90% air, 99% air. Let's say.
Mine are still in the boxes, still in the shrink. My Conan.
Yeah, you may want to leave it in there.
I am in the process of paring everything down. I've moved about 400 games into my garage that I'm going to get rid of. I've probably got at least another 600 to go that I'm just going to I'm going to have a flea market out of my garage and just sell them for like $10 a piece. I just don't care. I just want people to buy them.
You have too many games, dude.
Oh, I do. I know I do. So
you're going to get rid of 1,000 games.
Yeah, easily. And I'll be happy when they're gone. And my wife might not divorce me then. Because I'll have reclaimed the basement.
Is that a crokinole board back there?
Yeah, that's a crokinole board. Just showed up one day.
Taking it out of the box yet?
Well, no, I mean, okay, so Mayday is based out of Utah as well, and so we always end up going out to dinner with Mayday. Yeah. And so then we were at Dice Tower Con. I went to
pay $1, you'll get a crokinole board.
I literally was just hanging out with Daniel Peterson, like the guy that's the big Mayday guy, and he and I were out to lunch, and we were just talking about crokinole, and I was just like, and I told him my story about when I got one of the very first ever Mayday boards. It sucked because they had the bumps and everything like that, and I was like, yeah, and I've never gotten a new one, and then all of a sudden, like, when I got home 2 days later, there was shipping notice, and I didn't ask for it or anything like that. It was just like 2 days later, he said, like, You are having a package shipped to you by Mayday Games. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then all of a sudden this crokinole board showed up. So, yeah. Crokinole board. I should take it out one of these days.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game.
I've got one right there.
Mayday are... Talk about a company that just totally reinvented themselves. Mayday Games totally reinvented themselves. I mean, they definitely got a bad rap for a while, and they worked really hard, and they are like a respected they're a respected group now. I mean, I'm impressed by them.
You know what that is, right?
What?
It's because Seth gave up some responsibility.
I don't know if that's it or not.
Yeah, I can see that. I know when he hired Ryan in, that really, I think that might have been a turning point for him.
Ryan's a good guy.
Yeah, no, I'm saying anything. I'm saying he just was trying to do too many things himself. And when you try to do too many things, you do nothing. Sometimes. So him putting Ryan in charge of a lot of that stuff really made everything better.
That game Macroscope is fun. My kids love that. We have a ton of fun with it. So if you haven't seen that game, it's basically like
well, maybe one of those show up at my door.
You gotta post in that Facebook group, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be quicker on your notifications.
Mine.
Mine.
Oh my god, that game is so like that.
Mine.
That cracked me up when I saw that. And the
I
best
want
is
to know
like
where all
some
these
people
reviews
have-
are being posted because I haven't seen any reviews.
Well,
Where are they being posted?
the funny thing is, like a lot of them, like I know who they are, like I know the names. There's other people I don't know, and they always put a link, like, oh, but at least they're like, hey, we do reviews here. Check out our thing. Like they're not even like trying to like be, sneaky about it. And then I go and I look, and they got like 12 subscribers. And everyone's got to start somewhere, and I'm like, fine, but I sit and I'll go and I'll watch it. Somebody new, and there's a few people who I look at and go, okay, you got a good start. You have potential. And then there's people who literally have been doing it for several years, who I'm like, you still have 42 subscribers. Maybe people don't care. It's like
it's
I
too
always wonder
crowded.
if the
It's too
forest
crowded.
falls and no one hears it. It's that. I mean, I think there's not enough reviewers, honestly.
what?
But I don't know where there aren't.
there aren't enough visible ones.
There basically is like
Okay.
2 that matter, maybe 3. I won't say any names.
No,
Shut
I
up
think
and Dice Tower.
What?
I mean, those 2 big ones come. Shut up and sit down at Dice Tower.
Roddo's.
I'm not
big,
saying
though.
any names.
Oh, Rondo.
So it's under 5 total.
Yeah,
That make
mean-
or break games, right? If you get a bad review on some of them, your game's doomed. That
Yeah,
means
but-
it's like there's too much power in too many people's hands.
right. I'm just trying to
There
think.
needs to be more points of view.
The biggest people are probably Shut Up and Sit Down, Roddo, the Dice Tower.
I didn't name any names.
Right,
I
that's
had a
fine.
different list in mind.
I think the Secret Cabal has a really big reach.
I think they have a reach, but the weird thing about games is that even if like Tom says this game's a pile of crap, I mean people kind of just say, well, you know what, I might like it. I mean, because a lot of people
It'll limit sales to under 5,000 copies.
I don't go along with that.
I don't believe that either. I think there's enough people that think that they know the Dice Tower does a thing, but at the same time, a lot of people know that like, oh, well, that's not really Tom's kind of game. Like, there's a lot of that out there.
Or look at it this way: there are way more, and then maybe I'm wrong, but I think there are way more people that play designer board games that don't know who Tom is or care to watch Tom than there are that actually care who Tom is or know who he is and watch Tom.
Well, yeah, a lot of people don't watch reviews. Period.
That's what I feel like
that's still.
you need more points of view where you, like, if you don't agree with Tom, then you move on, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
But who do you move on to?
let's just to throw out a number. Let's just say there's 100, like the people that are that play designer board games. Let's just say it's 100 people, and like it's more, but I mean it's 100 people.
Thanks for clarifying that it was more.
You are on here as a guest, Joe. We can rescind that at any time. No. So
remember that guy Mike who used to come all the time?
Yeah.
And get spat off.
Yeah, I remember him. No. But no. You have like, if you have like say that 100 people or whatever, what? Maybe 15 to 20 of them watch Tom religiously, or go to him for his opinion. And that's still a large chunk. And that's still a large chunk of people, but it's still, there's way more that don't watch it. The game is good or bad, and gets word of mouth, good or bad, regardless of reviewers. Now,
there's $63 million out there put on games that no one knows shit about.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that
I'm just going by Kickstarter's numbers, not my own.
That's fine. But my point is, and I don't think you can even. I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I don't think you can even argue this. Is that if Tom or Rado or Shut Up and Sit Down or whoever comes out and says this game is freaking awesome, you need to buy it right away, that's going to help. One, they're not going to go out there and say this game sucks. They just, because nobody does a negative review. So it's just, and nobody does a negative review that just like rips it asunder. You know, I mean, it's just like there's very few people that just like, this is a pile of shit in a box. You know, you just save. You know, it's like you'd be better off burning your money than you would buying this. Nobody's going to go out and do that, even if the game is that bad. So the whole thing is that, you know, it just doesn't happen. There's not a negative world there that's limiting the game. I mean, Tom himself says that the games that like he trashed on, like Hawaii or
Vasco da Gama.
Yeah, like he said that he did those. I mean, he said that he got them exposure that ultimately probably helped them more than anything. And we got more people like, really, why is this game so bad? Let's take a look at it. You know, and people, it's like, oh, I don't think Tom knows what he's talking about. I had a lot of fun playing that game. You know, okay. So and that's my opinion about the whole thing.
So you look at YouTube videos as an example for size of audience. Who's number one? I think everybody can guess that without too much trouble, right?
Yep, tabletop.
It's Dice. Well, not counting tabletop.
Okay, not counting tabletop.
Those aren't reviews.
I'm going to kick them out because they don't actually.
By choosing the game, they are reviewing it.
No.
They're.
Well, okay. Well, do you want a review to generate? Right. If you want to define a review as generating sales,
yes. Well, they have the most reach, but let's cut out corporate Hollywood, okay? And just go to.
We'll ignore
that one for now. But you go under that. Who's number one? Dice Tower, 160,000 subs. Number two. Who's number two?
Rado.
Nope. Rodney Smith, 100,000.
Oh, yeah.
But he's
not a review.
No, I don't. It's just and I first of all, one, I don't buy into that. Not a reviewer BS, but you know, but he's exposure.
Yes, he's exposure. Right. Number three.
You have to count tabletop too.
Right.
Rado and Nick from Board Game Brawl are up there.
Rado is number 3 at 63,000. Shut Up and Sit Down is at 60,000.
But they don't
Board
even
Game Geek TV is at 45,000.
But they don't even do YouTube anymore. Or Shut Up and Sit Down, like it's just old videos, isn't it? They're not even.
No, they have new stuff.
They do new stuff.
I thought they did Terraforming Mars this week.
I thought they removed themselves from.
No, they're still doing stuff.
YouTube.
Who was this? What are you talking about?
There needs to be bigger. There needs to be more reviewers on YouTube.
No. So what happened? Okay, so we'll go through the what happened with Shut Up and Sit Down. They had their own channel. They moved over to Dice Tower for a while.
Dice Tower?
Yeah, they were on Dice Tower for a while. Then they went and did something else, and they were on Vimeo. Then they were part of another group thing. They were part of and it wasn't really Geek and Sundry, but it was one of those things like that.
Video games before though.
And then they came back, and now they have their own channel again.
I thought they were all video games before. Are there old videos video games? Or is it all board games?
All the games, videos I've ever seen of them are all board games.
I have something really important.
Well, those guys worked on joystick and stuff, or at least one of the guys did.
Hey,
they were on
Barry.
Hey, fuckers.
Hey.
Holy
shit, on, man.
Who moved the rock?
Barry is alive. Sorry,
I was thinking about you.
Hi, Barry.
Hey, John. What's up?
Good to see you.
With that beard.
Barry, how are you?
The veritable lumberjack.
Wait. Barry, are you moving?
No,
Did you quit playing games?
No, I condensed them down to 4 shelves on the other side of the room.
Oh, okay. I'm like, all his games are gone.
The
Jen said
tower,
that's it.
yeah.
They're all going.
I am going to get rid of about probably 100, 150. I got about 6 boxes here.
What's Shut Up Sit Down's channel called?
Shut up and sit down.
Shut Up and Sit Down?
I think so. I can send you a link if you want.
Okay.
I had
I'm
no idea
surprised.
Shut Up and Down was on Dice Tower.
Are they?
Yeah, they were for a brief period of time. They were.
Yeah, the podcast, wasn't it? It wasn't the
That was
wasn't
cut
the
off.
show. It was just a podcast, right?
I don't remember. They were part of Dice Tower for a while.
I found them when they were on Penny Arcade.
That's where they went after Dice Tower. They went to Penny Arcade. I knew they went somewhere.
I think part of the reason, I think what you're saying is we need more reviewers. I think we just need more reviewers who put out a lot of content.
It's
Because
super hard too, right? Like you guys know how it is.
How do you do it? You have to
I don't know.
You have to do it as a job.
Yeah, and there's not any
And
money. in it.
people are not getting, $100,000, $200,000 Kickstarters.
I can't imagine how hard it is to just try to make a living as a reviewer without going the crowdfunding route. I don't know if it can be done.
Right, but here's the problem, Joe. Even if you could for some whatever reason, all right, the problem with being a reviewer is you need other people to play the games with. So you have to make enough money or have friends who are independently wealthy or that you could pay them to be around all day long to play games with.
Yeah, that was and again, I'm not throwing shade in any way, shape, or form, but I found that like strange.
I feel like I want to throw you off the program for saying throwing shade.
Okay, okay, you have a fidget spinner, so what? But I found it odd that when the Secret Cabal, Jamie went full time, but I just felt that there had to be some kind of odd thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going full time, but the other 3 guys that have been on the show for years and years still have to work their jobs.
Jamie took a major pay cut to do that.
No, I'm not saying anything negative. I'm saying I'm
just saying.
True, and I'm sure, but at the same time, he still gets to stay at home and play board games for a living.
And the thing is, he's got to do the same scrounging next year, right? Like he's gonna have to like build it all up again and do that. I mean, it's super hard.
Yeah.
I'm not. By the way, scrounging was not derogatory.
Like, what happens if he doesn't make the money next year?
I mean, like if you have a certain amount of money you need to make each year. Believe me, I mean, we all took the dive. Most of us did.
I think it's a really good point, finding time to play it. I took the summer off pretty much to focus on Bauer's Game Corner. I only work 2 days a week, and I'm trying to post 4 or 5 videos a week, and it's so damn hard going to 4 or 5 game nights a week. Like, I'm driving to Columbia City to go to a library, like driving 30 minutes to go to a library to play for like 2 or 3 hours, and it's really hard finding all
If you're
the
doing it
time.
as a job, it's definitely people. I think underestimate the work. That's why I was like,
But even not doing it as a job, Scott.
Yeah.
People send. When we were doing the podcast all the time, people would send games, and I'd sit here and go, "Why did you send this to me?" Now I have to go and grab my kids and say, "Okay, we have to play this game because I need to talk about it because they sent it to me." Even just doing that, like I play games every week. I don't play them every night. I have kids. I have things going on. There are people who have been working full-time jobs. They don't have kids, or their kids are old enough to the point where they're out of the house. They don't have all these things they're running around to. So they have the ability to do these things. Like, look at Edward and Amanda with Heavy Cardboard. All right? He left his job, going to try to make a go of somehow figuring out how to do this full-time. But even before then, they don't have kids. And they have 2 other gaming friends who live in the house with them.
Yep.
So literally, it's
so they have their own.
I come home from work, we eat dinner, let's play a game. I have a built-in game group in my house who all like the stuff that we're talking about. They're all eager to play this stuff, and that makes it easy to do it.
It's probably going to be another generation of people that kind of take over. If you get, I mean, Rado is retired, right?
Yes, and same thing for them too.
And so the people that are like at the top of their game, they're doing it full time, right?
And that's how I guess Rahdo was able to do it, is the fact that Rahdo's retired. Rahdo doesn't have kids, and Rahdo literally
And doesn't need money.
only reviews 2-player games that he plays with his wife. That's it. He doesn't play games with
And he has a
anyone else.
talent for talking to no one.
Yeah.
Which is hard. I don't know if you guys.
I mean, you look at him doing that. He doesn't edit. He just does it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
To do
a
it
pure
one
skill.
take. Yeah, to do it one take.
You can't teach that shit.
I
mean, Rahdo is the opposite of Rodney.
He does make a ton of mistakes, though.
Yeah, he does, but who
That just
cares?
goes
I
with the
still see
territory.
how it works, you know? I mean, you look at it, and Rahdo and Rodney are the complete opposite. Everything with Rodney scripted, shot carefully, every shot set, and Rahdo's just on the cuff. And they're both very successful because they're both playing to their strengths.
Yeah, I don't know how new people make a dent unless they are not committed to doing other things.
Well, because I think that's the thing is people can only consume so much content,
Correct.
and most people would prefer to consume the content of the 4 or 5 or 10 biggest people out there, unless there's a specific thing that they are playing to their strength. You know, like unless there's a specific niche that you're hitting, I don't think people are going to care what you have to say. Like the little podcast I do does pretty well, but that's because we specifically hit a niche of the market. We're never going to be huge. We're never going to be big. But the people that are looking for a specific podcast talking about what we talk about, there's only 2 or 3 of us out there.
Well, the big thing is you just have to be patient. I mean, you have to keep doing it, and you can never stop.
Patient and consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not care that you're getting outnumbered by. I don't know. It's a hard sell. It's a hard job.
It's absolutely thankless.
Yep. And all you're going to get is criticism. You're going to get mostly criticism.
All right.
The people who love it will not say anything.
Well, no, and it just
comes rarely.
It is. And
I won't say never, but it's rare.
You honestly, it is. It's just it is absolutely thankless. I mean, it's just because especially if you're starting out, it's like, oh, I made this video and I got 27 views. It's just like, and like Forrest and I talked about that on the podcast where we're like, like how the biggest thing we see people like you said, Forrest, you made a very amazing comment, which I agree with. Like, you're like looking at all these people talking in like the Board Game Review Facebook channel, and you posted in 12 months, 2/3 of you won't be doing it anymore. That are reading this right now because you're going to get burnt out. And
Mine?
Yeah, no, it's just you're going to be totally burnt out. You're just going to be like.
I'm in several groups, but I'm also in a group, a podcast community group. It's just people who do podcasts in general. And literally every single day, someone comes on and says, hey, how do I get more listeners? And I'm like,
keep making stuff.
You make stuff and your people tell other people. That's how you get listeners.
I guess the best thing when it comes to podcasting is if you're going to make a podcast, you can't care who listens. You have to just enjoy making it in the process of making it rather than actually going into it with an idea of I want X amount of visitors or X amount of audience.
Here's the funny thing about podcasts. Here's the funny thing about podcasts, and you never actually know how many people downloaded your podcast.
It's an imprecise science.
I had an episode that I got 150,000 downloads of. And I was like, how the hell? And it was funny because it was in a very short period of time. And I technically, for the day when it happened, that it registered on iTunes, my show had more downloads than the Dice Tower. like it jumped above the Dice Tower as the highest ranked thing for like a day. And then it was gone, and then it was back down where it normally was. But it was just funny because I'm sitting there going like, who the hell decided that today was the day to listen to my, and what happened was something was glitched and it just recorded that instead of recording a download, like every kilobyte that was downloading counted as a download that day.
It's an imprecise. I mean,
And you're downloading it. No one knows if you're actually listening to it.
Yeah, tagging page views and all that stuff is hard to track.
Yeah, because my app auto downloads a ton of episodes, and I just I'd say 75% of them I just straight up delete them off. I'm like, oh hey, so and so had a new episode, delete. Because I'm just if a lot of them, if they're not talking about a game I care about, they're just not gonna. I'm just not gonna take the time. I don't have the time.
Well, anyway, I'm still making the call out. I want more reviewers. But I understand it's a hard job. It's a hard task. But
I mean, there are so many though. You look at my sub list on YouTube, and it's nuts.
Yeah,
and I keep looking for new ones.
People aren't consistently putting things out, right? Like, I mean, that's the hard problem.
Like Lance, when you were on the podcast with Travis the other day, you had made the comment about comparison is the sapper of all joy.
The comparison is the thief of joy. The moment that you start pointing. Like, I forget what podcast I was on. I was on it with this guy, and he actually made the comment. He said, comparison is the thief of joy. And it's like, and I was like, wow, that is perfect. And I wish I could remember what podcast I was on that he said that, because it is. It's like you could sit there and say, oh, look at this. I got 1,000 subscribers. This is awesome. And then the moment you look over at another podcast that's got like 5,000, you're like, oh, wish I had 5,000. But you were just happy. Like 5 minutes ago, because you're like, I have 1,000 people that download my podcast every week. You should have been, but you can't be happy at that.
That's why YouTube is the way it is, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you can always see the PewDiePie has the.
Well, that's like, what do I? But if you look at those numbers, there are things I look at when I look at numbers and stuff like that on YouTube. I look at subscribers. I'm like, oh, okay, you have 500,000 subscribers. But your video got watched 4 million times. So that means that it was posted somewhere and people are looking at it. Then I see people who have like 50,000 subscribers and your video was watched 500 times. Like,
it has a lot more to do.
Yeah, it depends on what you're throwing out there.
The subscriber numbers is fine, but you got to have interactions. So, you can gather a lot of people, but whether or not they are actually interacting, just like you said, the auto downloads, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they're actually watching. Are they actually talking about it? Or are they actually
you
on
can check minutes.
your other forum saying, hey, did you see so-and-so's review? I really like the way that they do X, Y, or Z. I mean, if you don't have something that's more interesting than just talking.
All right, so here's the flip side of everything. Guys, I mentioned this to Lance the other day on the phone. Publishers, if a publisher happens to be watching this, can you please stop saying how great every media outlet is after they like your game? On Twitter all day long, I see, oh, Joe Wiggins loves our game. Go check out their great podcast. Like, Joe Wiggins' podcast would have been great whether they reviewed your game or not. Why all of a sudden now it's a great podcast?
It's not, but sure.
No, but I'm just saying, in general, that's the whole thing. Like, I can't stand it.
It's never gonna. I mean, you can make that request, but it's never gonna stop.
I'm trying to think of some words to say to respond to that.
Like, are you not doing a good job if you didn't review the game?
But at the same time, it's like no publisher's listening to those outlets. But if an outlet says something about your game, it's almost self-promotion in a way. Like, go check out this podcast because they talked about my game. I mean, you're never going to get the...
No, Joe, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with them saying, hey, Joe, Clay, and the other guy... and Ryan,
the actual famous guy.
Yeah, I know. I was calling Dr. Metzler, but they talked about my game on their show. That's fine. Obviously, if you're saying someone to go and listen to it, it's obviously good in their favor. Unless you're Z-Man, who used to post links to reviews before they even looked at them, and half of them were bad sometimes, and it was pretty funny. But like, it's the add-on of the. You're great. Your show is great because you like my game.
It's like I pat your back, you pat mine.
I've had this happen too, and I refuse to do it.
It's a courtesy.
No, this is a courtesy, John. I review your game on my show, and you say, and we'll say, hey, we talked about John, Gatekeeper's game, blah, blah, blah. And you say, hey, Cardboard Jungle talked about my game. You do not add, because this is the most insulting thing that people do, and I'll tell you another thing that publishers do. Fast forward to 14 minutes and 38 seconds to listen to it.
Skip all that other BS.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess somewhat peek behind the curtain in a way, because nobody has the time. But when I used to work 10 hours a night and just do nothing but consume podcasts to make the time go by faster, I mean, I was just listening to everyone's podcast. And some of these really tiny, small podcasts, if they mentioned a capstone game, I would shoot Clay a text immediately and be like, oh, hey, this little podcast mentioned Arkwright or whatever. And he would be able to like hop on Twitter and say, oh, hey, check out this podcast, or just send a tweet to them that said, hey, thanks for talking about my game.
Yeah, and that part is cool. That I get. But it's the whole go to this, fast forward to this port. Just it's all about me at that point. Like, not like, okay, hey, we said something nice about your game. You want people to hear it. But like, say, oh, they talk about it on the show. They will give the exact second mark of where it comes in.
That I totally understand. That'll get you back on and high five you on that one. But I think on the and pay them a compliment sort of thing is, I don't understand why that's bad.
But the thing is, John, is it makes you sound that if you said something bad about the game, that your show is bad. Your show is good because you said something nice about my game.
No, it's you. I mean, you put up a decent, good review, like we were talking about earlier. Nobody really puts up or talks about bad reviews anymore. So,
but you could wait. But you could put out a good review that is a negative review. If it's complete and it explains everything, and then you explain why you don't like the game and why you think the game is bad, that's still a good review. I know you don't do it if you're a publisher, but it doesn't make the show better for you being nice about the game.
I'm not talking about the quality of the review. I'm talking about a review that says that the game is good. And it's something that we already talked about. Is that's the only thing that people do anymore, because nobody wants to spend time talking about how much they hate something. It's not very personally rewarding.
So you watch this show?
Don't review.
Sorry, John.
I think, Anthony, you're just mad at human nature then.
Yeah, I mean, like I was watching a Hishy review, Hishy today. Hishy, they reviewed Wonder Woman, and they had posted a couple of new videos and stuff. So when I was watching some of them, and the guy, I don't know his name, the guy behind Hishy was like, yeah, this, that, and the other thing, and and Gal Gadot was really great. And you could tell he was kind of like, just kind of saying some stuff about a couple actors, but he was like, he was doing it to pay courtesy to other people who've put in like hard work on something. And it was kind of like, well, that sounded a little insincere. Like you just kind of jammed that in there to like be friendly with your friends. But like, you were being friendly with your friends. Like, I can't blame you for it. Right? I mean, maybe we're not going to agree. And I guess I don't really care if you come to my side, and you probably don't care if I come to yours, but I'm just putting out the other side from the publisher standpoint. It's like, we kind of feel like we're doing you a favor. And then most of the smaller reviewers say, hey, since we reviewed your game, could you mention us on your social media too? And then you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And we say, hey, Bowers Game Corner is great.
Oh, I'd say, why are you lying?
Forrest knows that I legitimately think he's great. So
right, but the thing is, if you legitimately think Forrest is great, someone's going to go look and they go, "Oh, Forrest raved about your game. That's why you think he's great."
Well, if they want to think that, if they want to draw that negative conclusion and pin that on me, then that's on them, and I don't care.
Wow, somebody on the internet drew a negative conclusion. It's never happened before.
Hey, here's my Sarah app link. Why don't you come and tell me how much you hate me behind my back?
Oh my God!
Hold on. Good. We got around to that.
Wait. It's kind of like someone tweeting out how excited they are that they're on the BGG hotness when they have a contest going on, which automatically gets you into the BGG hotness.
Not automatically.
Oh yeah, no. it pretty much gets you in the BGG hotness.
Right, but not automatically.
No, it's not a BGG thing.
It's not
like they don't give it to you.
It drives the algorithm.
We all understand.
I can still charge for the BGG hotness spot if I want to open that up advertising.
No, I didn't say you charging for it. My point is, it's a byproduct.
Right.
You have a contest.
You get interested in the game.
Right. You have a contest that requires you to go to the game page. It's going to boost that up, and it's going to go through the algorithm and help get it up the hotness list.
Possibly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then you tweet it out because that's freaking brilliant.
But the thing is, the
Well,
thing is,
we got on the hot list. We better not mention it. Like, no, you're going to mention it.
Right? But you go to the front page. I go
act like you're surprised.
Right,
So that's a new wrinkle with these days with broadcasting.
I go to the front page. I look at the hotness, and then I say, "Hey, how did that get on the hotness?" I'm like, "Oh, there's a contest."
Let's have a podcast hotness on the front of BGG.
Dice Tower will be all over it.
You know, I think we should have a
You guys want the Dice Tower on the front page more.
Oh, Scott, good job adding Golden Elephant to the awards.
Oh, okay.
Because that let me know that there were actually awards on the page to begin with. I had no idea they even existed.
You didn't even know the awards were right there?
No.
Glad we did our job with the awards.
That's the only reason I knew they were there is because Edward posted that you finally you recognize them, and I'm like, where the hell is this? And then I'm like, oh, there's a little button that you push and it shows all the awards that the game got.
Yeah. Now you know my pain.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Aldi.
Poor Aldi. He has to sleep on his bed full of money.
Whatever.
And just
Shush.
he has to work so hard sitting at that on that chair, clicking and live.
Yep.
There's so much stuff though that goes into like just getting media attention that like I would never put the effort into. Like all these people have podcasts that go into BGG and like put their podcast in BGG and then link all of the games that they mention so that it shows up on the page of that game on BGG. I'm like, I would never take the time.
Putting your podcast in the BGG it takes nothing.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about linking it up.
Well, yeah, timestamping in videos.
Do you even care about your podcast, Joe?
Me? It's just fun. I have fun.
Exactly. Right. Some people care more than
Joe. If you put it there once, it's just going to upload every single time, straight there.
Yeah, it just goes right there. But hey, Aldi, could you? I uploaded our picture for the podcast, TMG podcast thing, like a week ago, and it still says images pending.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fix that for me.
I need to change my description on mine. I think mine still says member of the Dice Tower Network.
Proud member of the Dice Tower Network.
You're not in the Dice Tower Network anymore?
I haven't been in Dice Tower Network for like 2.5 years.
Oh.
I remember the
Jungle,
podcast.
like every other podcast, has been a part of the Dice Tower Network for at least a short time at some point.
I have told everybody when they said, "How do I get more viewers?" I was like, "See if Tom will let you in the network." Just like I've told that to many people. I was like, "You want more views?"
It's good advice. It would work.
I'm surprised that gets such a bump.
He's turned some people down because they aren't family friendly.
But if you're big
obviously,
enough, you can cuss all you want on the Dice Tower Network.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna.
Do you get advertising dollars on the Dice Tower Network? Like, do you get a?
No.
Oh. I just said the network.
All right, so Dice.
So I thought the network was part of getting.
No. So the Dice Tower Network.
What?
I feel a rant coming on.
No, there's no rant. I'll explain what being part of the Dice Tower Network is. So being part of the Dice Tower Network says you can be part of the Dice. You're part of the Dice Tower Network. You get mentioned on the end of their show, every other episode. It was in progress when I was on the network, but I left before it went in. But on the Dice Tower website, it links to all the shows, and then if you want to do the time, you can put the games you talk about on the show in the database. So, like, if I want to know what people talked about Arkwright, for example, I can just type in Arkwright, and it'll show me every show in the Dice Tower Network and what episode they spoke about Arkwright in.
So basically the same as BGG.
Yeah,
You can link your game. Yeah.
You can link. Yeah, you can. So if you go in and put the information in, you become part of the database. So again, you may not listen to this show in the network, but they're the only one who talked about whatever game. So that may turn you on to listening to them. And then you have access to use the Dice Tower booth at a convention for hour periods at a time you sign up for. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, you can like say, I'll be at this booth to sign autographs and stuff.
Yeah, I was in the network the first year they had a booth at Gen Con, and we signed up to do an hour a day just so we'd have a place to tell people to meet us. And it was small. It was in part of the Gray Fox Games booth. No, it was in the Gray Fox booth. Gray Fox Games had a booth, and they were in a little corner of it. And we basically were selling Dice Tower.
So I'm confused. Like, you still have to pay for your own hosting. They don't offer any hosting.
Oh, you pay for everything.
Oh.
It's they're just a platform.
Can I make a Board Game Geek network like that? Like, where I
I think you should.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you guys were getting paid.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna just start saying I'm a part of the Dice Tower network and see if we get a boost in sales. I just feel like every episode,
I don't know if you guys remember back in the day. There was like
awesome joke.
No, and that was the thing that
podcasting back in the day when Adam Curry was setting up his network, you had to apply to be then, and you would get a share of the advertising revenue.
Yeah, so basically
ads on the show.
So basically, the drawback to being on Dice Tower Network is everyone already thinks that those things are paid for.
Right. Hey, Anthony, you've given me a new goal, though, is to get a cease and desist from the Dice Tower Network.
So Dice Tower Network is great.
The short version is, if you're...
I thought it was like an advertising.
If you're a contributor, you get exposure. Tom gets content. That's what. That's the relationship.
Well, kids, I don't want to interrupt this, but I now officially know what it's like to be on the East Coast while being on the Alaboom, and I'm going to go to bed.
Hi, John.
Good night, John.
Next week, John.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for all your support.
What booth are you in, and what do you have to sell? What are you selling?
Oh, we're in booth 2343, and it's going to be freaking awesome. Wood burns, but fortunately, in
I heard you're having a fire sale on everything.
Oh, it's a flash sale, flash fire. We're having a wooden keep being built for our booth. So it's Lord Willing, if it turns out as good looking as it's supposed to, it might be one of the must-sees of the con. We're gonna have 10-foot towers and things of that sort. It's gonna be really awesome. But we're in 2-4, and all of Havsy's 2.0, the World Tour, will be available there. King's Armory will be available with steep discounts because they're all water damaged. And we'll have Adapt, and we'll have our pewter minis back in stock, and it'll be a grand old time. So come buy dice and help me rebuild my mother's house. It's sad because it's true.
Do we have any of the BGG dice available yet?
Do you want me to answer that question, or you want me to surprise you?
I guess you can surprise me.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You can't go and ask.
Well, I mean, if nobody talks about it, then they don't exist, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I guess maybe the answer is whatever. We'll talk about it later.
The answer is maybe. I was going to surprise you, but since you asked, if you want to tell people that they'll be available at Gen Con, I have 100 for you.
Oh, awesome. Spoiled your surprise.
I know.
Yeah, BGG Havsies.
But at least now you can tell people if you want to. Does anybody know about them yet?
Nobody's watching the show anyway, so it's like.
Well, tell
our 5 listeners. I'm sorry if you were watching. I'm actually not on chat tonight. How many?
We have tens of viewers.
Tens of tens.
I will say,
ones of tens.
I have no idea what the total viewership of the weekly Alaboom is, but the weekly Alaboom was such a amazing thing to me when I was doing my old job, because I was like, this is just like 5 hours of people just talking like about nothing. It ate up like half the for board gamers. It just ate up a 5 hours worth of time. Like
I think we get about 250 views on YouTube. I don't know if anybody downloads it.
It doesn't get. It's not too bad in the grand scheme of we're just
Paul Tompkins called me a jerk.
Watch it and we don't know why. But Scott, do you want to tell the 10 viewers about your dice?
No, I mean Paul Tompkins called me a jerk. I trying to remember what they were. They're the blue and orange, right? Like
Yeah.
the DGG colors. Do you have any? You don't have any on you. You're in Niagara.
No. I don't have any.
Okay.
I do have some.
So it's basically halvesies dice with Board Game Geek colors.
Oh,
Which are all, I hope awesome.
So
they're really cool. They look really good.
So right before the show, like FedEx truck, like from Target, stopped by my house and dropped off this giant box, and it was inside were 2 games. I don't even know why I got them. They're like, remember that company that made Clask? Remember the magnet like soccer game thing or whatever?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
They
got 50 class.
Yeah, no. They sent me one game. What's like I forgot. I'd have to go upstairs and get it. But they also sent me this wooden box called Sunken. Yeah, they called it Sunken Sailor, which was basically a ripoff of A Fake Artist Goes to New York. The idea was that like instead of it's Drunken Sailor, but it's Sunken Sailor, and one person is the drunk sailor who doesn't remember what they did that night, and so it's the same premise of A Fake Artist, but it's a total ripoff. Like they took the whole thing and just changed the name and called it Sunken Sailor.
Is there there are plenty of rip-off games in our industry.
Wait a second.
Sometimes the rip-offs better than the original.
Know about this?
I have no idea.
Because remember they took Ted to task about the.
But yeah,
their words.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna go to bed. Anybody in the chat tonight? Sorry, I didn't join the chat. I'm on a laptop in the middle of nowhere. It's just too complicated, and my browsers suck. So, hi, whoever's there, and good night, viewers.
23.
Good night, everybody.
See you, John.
It does have, yeah, John. It does have. I guess it has dice. I didn't know, but basically
there's some kind of dice.
The back of it I read was that there's basically drawing paper and like each person will draw like one line and like and then like the one sailor doesn't know what he's drawing, and then you got to figure out who that one is. So it's just like I was like, huh. So they completely and totally ripped off.
Does it have an app with really annoying music?
No. Yeah. And then the other one is Bonk board game, which is like a dexterity game where you like you have these little.
That's the Kama Sutra game. That's really quick. Hoo-hey. But no, Bonk, it's like, and like you roll marbles down like a little. If you go to target.com and type in Bonk board game, you can see it. And you try to knock the wooden ball into each other's goal by
it's got the little ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have a wooden version of it. Is it wood?
Yeah, it's wood.
Okay.
I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh. And I was like, my wife's like, what is that? What the hell did you buy from Target? I was like, I didn't buy anything from Target.
They just sent you one of everything?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I must be on a list somewhere.
You're on a list. Yeah, we're supposed to get those games in the hot games room. I want to play the Sonar game, which is 4-player Captain Sonar turn-based.
Sounds interesting.
But that was the crappy way to play Captain Sonar.
Okay, but it's so hard to get 8 people to play Captain Sonar. It's like
it is.
It's like wrangling cats.
So hey, random thing. So we finally got our first ever Games Workshop store in Fargo.
And it got sued for $62.5 million.
No. I know the guy. So basically, they were looking at having a store, and then there's a big miniatures gamer, and I know him from like our local game nights and stuff like that. Real nice guy, and so he just kind of applied for it, and like it's a one-man show. He doesn't. It's really cool. It's like he isn't open Mondays or Tuesdays. And then he's open Wednesday through Sunday. Since he's the only person there, he opens the store up at 10. He works until 9. And then at like from 2 to 2:30, he closes the store every day to have lunch. And it's just like, it's located in this little strip mall. Guy is super nice. And super helpful to people that are like, well, how do I dive into this? Or how do I get into this? It's one of those things where it's like, if I didn't already have 8 million minis, I could see myself really enjoying playing Age of Sigmar Warhammer, but there's no way. You just can't get into it. But he has between 5 to 6 people in there. Like anytime I've gone in there, whether it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, well, not 2 o'clock because he closes for lunch, but like whether it's like noon on a Thursday, or if it's like 7 p.m. on a Sunday, he has between 2 to 6 people in there either playing Warhammer or they're painting, because he set up paint stations for people just to come in and they can just sit there and paint. And he always has like really cool like thematic like music like going and all kinds of stuff.
Conan soundtrack.
Yeah, Conan soundtrack, a Game of Thrones soundtrack, stuff like that. That's just very evocative for the situation.
One Direction, whatever.
Yeah, like a little Menudo, just keeping it real. But yeah, I mean, I was big into it for a while, and then I got out of it.
That's all I played for like in the 90s.
It's and I mean I when I went in there, like I bought a couple things just to kind of like support the place and just to kind of do the right thing kind of thing. But I mean I could feel like I could feel the feeling, just like, wouldn't this be cool? Why don't you buy a 1,000-point Skaven army while you're here? Just like no, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should walk out the door. No.
Where you like 5 minis.
Yeah,
I don't know what the new rules are anymore, but
no, neither do I.
Skaven, you always had to have tons of minis because those stupid rats.
Well, and that's the weird thing. So, and then, but like they actually like are like you can actually like get like right now. It's like Warhammer may have learned something where they said, charging $25 for a single miniature, maybe that isn't really cool. So like
let's charge 125.
No. Like you can get you can like there's Age of Sigmar battle packs that are like you get you get a ton of minis for like $80. Admittedly, it's just like the base armies, and you're gonna want to start.
Their characters are still pretty pricey. We looked at some of the undead stuff last time I was at a game store, and it was just like amazing. Like their sculpts are the best.
Oh, aren't they though?
They're amazing.
You are paying for top quality. I mean, they're. I mean,
but they're not cheap.
No, they are not. And obviously, the people that paint it are way better than you will ever be. Just like, or at least I can't speak.
I haven't painted a mini in 20 years.
Well, you just pay somebody to do it for you, don't you?
I mean,
the companies just sent in pre-painted ones.
Play those games anymore.
Yeah.
Anything there's a pre-painted, I would buy it. Right. Like all the new D&D mini games are pre-painted, right? Or they have 2 versions of
them. They have a pre-painted version,
yeah. They have the deluxe.
And those D&D minis are awesome. Like I collected those back in the day as well, and they were bar none some of the best pre-painted stuff out there.
You look at them though; they look pretty awful. They look kind of awful, but I mean,
if you get real close, but when are you really doing that? You really aren't. You're playing with them on a table, and you look far away.
True,
but the new stuff is great. That giant game or whatever it was.
I like that game. That's
pretty
fun. Good. I mean, it was a little clunky in some aspects, but I had a lot of fun with that.
Doesn't that game have the problem that you can't play with all of them unless you have everybody?
What's that like?
Like isn't there like 7 different kinds of giants, but you can only play with them if you have 7 people? Like some of them you cannot play if you have only 4 people.
I haven't played.
Yeah.
I just looked at the minis.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind to try the game. It looked pretty fun.
Maui Chris just said, if the Alaboom was a bar, it would be the hometown bar with a bowl of peanuts on every table where you just toss the shells on the floor. Fuck you, Maui. Clean that up.
And now, Keith? Keith wrote something.
What?
See you soon.
Good night. See you soon.
Oh my God. He's leaving. Yeah.
Keith, I'll see you Tuesday, but I'll probably talk to you several times before then.
No, I'm sure we never talk, any of us. So.
Well, crazy. Yeah, you're gonna be gone, and then I will see you in person. That's nuts. Are you drive in, don't you, Keith?
Yeah, it's an hour. So right there.
I should
I got a 5-hour drive by myself. Not looking forward to it.
I got a 12-hour drive, so there.
I got a 3.5-hour plane flight.
12-hour.
Why don't you fly, Anthony?
Because I come with my son, it's cheaper to actually drive.
Yeah, okay. If you're coming with multiple people.
And I'm bringing stuff back, so it's cheaper to drive.
Stuff and things.
Well, but don't you get charged like every day to park?
Yeah.
Still cheaper.
It's not a lot, though, is it?
Parking, it depends on where you park, man. If you park at like my hotel, it's like 30 to 35 bills a night.
It's all
ridiculous. Parking is a pretty sweet deal. I think they still got some spots open on that.
That's pretty much sold out now.
It's all just.
I bought that this year. It's $70 for 5 days, so that's a lot cheaper.
The what parking?
Gate 10. It is a great deal. We did it last year. They have a shuttle that you can take. They run it about once every 20, 30 minutes. And it's not bad at all. It's in the Colts parking lot stadium. Yep.
Yeah, so you can go there and you can those are the cars to break into, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yes. Lots of good shit last year.
Lots of good discounts on games in those trunks and those cars out there.
You don't have to steal anything. You just break in and stay in the car for the week.
There you go.
That's what people should do. They should park their car and then rent their car out.
Wait, Forrest, didn't you sleep in the car last year?
2 years ago, Forrest slept in the car. I know that.
2, 3, and 4 years ago, but no longer.
What hotel this year?
I don't know.
He's staying at the zoo.
There's 6 or 7 of us.
6 or 7 of us per bed.
I've been curious, like, because there's people like I see at Gen Con that like are just asleep in the middle of the night in a hallway at Gen Con. Yeah. And I'm just like, they just came up here and didn't get a room, and they're just gonna like go to the bathroom and put like water on their armpits in the morning and then like do it all again.
You're giving them too much credit.
Let people sleep, but now they pester them.
They give us a bad name.
They never let you sleep. If they catch you, they wake you up. They'll give you a couple tries.
I've seen people sleeping.
Yeah, they'll come wake you up. I've witnessed it personally. It's
you can't tell if they're sleeping or playing a game.
No, they'll arrest them for vagrancy or whatever. No lie. So okay, back when like online gaming was in its very, very beginning. You taking off, Keith?
Yep, I'm out.
Adios. So back in the day, like there was like online gaming was in its very, very beginning, and like I'm sure you guys know what a MUD is, a multi-user dungeon, the whole program to play a text-based adventure, but you played it with other people at the same time, like because you interacted with the certain, it was just that was like the predecessor of all those things, and so, but like colleges had really good internet, and like you could they would always have like banks of computers. And so at North Dakota State University, there was in this architecture building, it was open all night long. It was because it was a college, so like you could come in there and work on your homework at 2 o'clock in the morning if you wanted to, but they had all these computer labs, and so we'd go there and we'd play like Warcraft and stuff like that. Oh wait, Kevin, tell us about Game Toppers real quick so the people know.
No problem. I gotta go to bed.
Aw. Well, hey, when after Gen Con, we'll nail down a time, and then we'll figure out how to get that thing to my house so I can do a video for it.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. We're really pumped about going to Gen Con. We're going to be hauling a trailer up there with about 30 tables, and we're going to be in a lot of really fine publishers' booths. So
then give us 5 publishers that you're going to have if you want to come and check out your tabletoppers.
You can play these Game Toppers in style, and you can demo some of the finest games out there. You can find them at Yellow Games, Capstone Games, Mayday Games, Arcane Wonders, Portal Games, Board Game Geek, Hotness Room, and Board Game Geek TV.
Yeah.
I mean, the Secret Cabal Meetup. We're going to be at the
what are
Great.
they?
What's that?
What are they? Table toppers?
Yeah.
Game toppers. Yeah, these are portable game tops that actually go right on your existing table. It converts your regular dining or kitchen room table into a high-quality gaming solution. You can see here they're modular component trays, multifunctional cup holders. So it can be a cup holder or a component tray. We've got larger ones. It's a modular rail system, and they just go in and out anywhere you sit. And it totally, you wouldn't know you aren't playing on a super high-quality table. It's a military-grade aluminum extrusion, so it provides really super tight tolerances, but all hardwood. We're using red oak in this here that's stained, so it's very luxurious. All the edges are very smooth. It's the floor, the vault floor, is actually raised a little bit so that it creates cross struts underneath that creates a large friction footprint, so the table doesn't move at all. You can put these on those 6-foot lifetime tables. That's what a lot of the vendors will be demoing them on. And it just provides a luxurious game table.
Genius.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I can't wait to see it in person.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're people just, I was so happy with them. You know, we've been working on it for over a year, and I had wood prototypes, but wood is a different beast to try to manufacture that. The craftsmanship cost, the inconsistency of wood and all of that type of thing, humidity. The aluminum provides the stability and the tolerances that we wanted, so we could provide something really good quality, but make it really affordable. So these people that, you know, everyone wants to have a $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 table, but that's not where most of us live. And a lot of times we don't have the space for a dedicated table. And so this solves that problem. Oh, and I got to show you something. Can I show you something really quick? I'm going to do the screen share thing.
You're the one who had to go to bed.
I know, but you just got me excited.
I was just going to say, fine, I'll buy the car. You know, just
I just got this tonight. I hired Andreas Ziferatis from Greece, who did all the major.
Andreas Ziferatis?
Ziferatis. And he did all the Mage Wars and Android Netrunners. So we've got all these awesome thematic game mats. But I also have been working with Brent Chumley, who did Doomtown Reloaded.
The Brent Chumley?
Brent Chumley.
The Brent Chumley?
Yeah, the Brent Chumley. Okay, look at this. Here it comes. I just got this tonight. Can you see that? You can't see it.
Your screen share.
Screen share.
Turn your computer.
Lance, click on him.
I'm doing the Google Hangout thing, no?
Yeah, but click the little green arrow.
There it is.
There you go.
You see it?
Yeah.
This is the new Blackjack mat. He just sent it to me. That's a full 38 by 60 inch mat.
So if you want to do some illegal gambling, this is how you say change it. Show the Hold'em one. Do you have the Hold'em one that you can show?
I was just so thrilled with this. This is going to be awesome. He actually made me a poker one too for just straight poker. Show you that. There's just the poker mat. But this one here, this other one for the Texas Hold'em is really cool. Here we go.
It's like Wild West.
Yeah, we tried to.
Wow. We could do wow.
Come on. Come on, baby. This one might have been that really big file. Yeah.
What do you think of Dalvin Cook for the Vikings there, Kevin?
He crashed his computer.
Aw.
While opening the file.
Is that crazy? What? It just.
I see two of them.
Oh, this is awesome. There's two Kevins.
Okay, how big is that? Oh no, that's
Actually dead.
That was the TIFF. Okay.
Hey, in the meantime, Forrest, go check your email.
There's the Texas Hold'em.
Oh, yeah, cool.
See if you got a press thing.
Do you have like a plain green one, like green felt kind of look?
I didn't do one with that because there was some of them that were out that way, but it's something that could easily be done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right, you can customize whatever you want, right?
and then the cool thing is Kevin's gonna the one I'm getting from Kevin is it's perfect for my my table, my 3x3 that I use for reviews, but also like you can just take that one and then it's modular, so then he can just add another one to the other end, and like so you just kind of pop one end off, you put them together, and all of a sudden now I've got a 6 foot long, the one that he was talking about that goes perfectly on those like 6 foot tables, and so like it's I mean it's super cool.
Each one of the tables, whether the 36 by 72 or the 38 by 60. It has an accessory rail where you can turn it into a mini table. So that 36 by 72 can be a 36 by 36.
Like a perfect X-Wing or whatever table, to play your miniature stuff on.
This was the dungeon crawl map. It looks like it's kind of cutting it off there a little bit.
Like you can't really get the resolution perfect for it. But yeah, that's like little inch squares or whatever, so you can play your D&D minis and stuff in there.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, well, thanks for that, and you guys have a great night, and we'll see you soon at Gen Con.
I'll see you soon, Kevin.
All right, see you guys.
Fogo de Chao. When are we going to Fogo de Chao?
Are you in?
Well, when are you doing it? Yeah, when are you doing it?
We have a reservation already, but I have one extra seat.
Well, I have me and my wife. Can you put two on?
Yeah, I can probably figure it out.
When? What day?
Thursday, 11:30 to 1.
That'll probably work. So yes, write me down.
Okay, I'll change the reservation and get it for 13
p.m.
We're with the Blue Peg, Pink Peg. They've got a group of 8, and Brian Pope's going with, and then I've got a friend of mine, Jesse Shaky, that's coming with me to help deliver game toppers and all that. So.
Fogo!
Fill up your leg full of meat. Good night, all.
Wait, you don't have to work in the middle of the day, Lance?
Shut up.
You get to leave the booth for lunch?
I get to leave the booth, yeah.
Man, lucky you.
Well,
Mike's not going to be there to punish him.
Well, no, Mikey is going to be there now.
Is he?
Decided today he's going to go. So yeah.
Nothing like changing at the last minute.
So Mikey is going to be in the house. No, we're gonna part of my job as the official Viking pillager of Taste Minstrel Games
is to go and just burn the other boots to the ground.
Yeah, no, is just to wander and talk to people and hand out. We've got our stuff for the podcast that we're going to be pushing and trying to get people excited about it and interested. So, I mean, that's what I'm going to be doing. I mean, I do have a lot of meetings. I have way more meetings this Gen Con than I've ever had in my life. So, I don't know. There's definitely going to be some crunch time stuff going on. But
so I think I asked Forrest about. I just got an email about a Planet of the Apes miniatures game that's coming.
Yeah, I just got the email too. I was like,
IDW, not IDW.
It's not IDW. It's an actual miniatures game. And the pictures they have out of it, they're all this paper cutouts, but they have these 5 huge trees that have levels on them. So I guess you can move the apes up and down on the trees. They're gonna be at the War Store booth at Gen Con. I have to go in to see if they have at least something.
So there's no game behind it, it's just minis.
It's a miniatures game, but let's look at the board. The fact they have these 5 trees with these levels.
So here's a question. Here's an interesting question. As an IP holder, why would you contract your game out to multiple companies?
Some people just have the access. I mean, it's just part of me says that a lot of that comes down to.
I can't come up with a good thing.
This looks like it's the new Planet of the Apes.
And then he's got the old.
And the IDW one is
the old one.
The IDW one is this 1970s movie.
That could be.
Here's the picture. I got it up. I'm screen sharing.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I think it makes sense though to rent your or to rent out your IP to multiple places.
But then you're competing against yourself.
Not really, because I mean, if you think about it from a let's say Planet of the Apes standpoint, right? I have the Planet of the Apes IP. It's like this company comes to me and says, "I want to make a Planet of the Apes board game," and they're like, "Okay, pay me $500," and then you get $500, and then another company says, "I want to do it too. Here's $500," and you're like, "Sure." Well, that's $500 for you, and you don't really care what the board games are doing in the marketplace because you're not invested in it. You just sold the IP.
Yeah. Right, but you can also just split the IP out based on what it is, like they did with Star Wars. Like you have the miniatures license, and you have the board game license, and you have this license. And...
I don't know.
Speaking of which, I've got a question. I don't know if anybody knows like the legality of it. But the new Fallout game came out. They announced that yesterday, and I did the first video on it because I got a chance to play a beta of it. And then I got a bunch of people who are giving me flack because apparently there's a non-disclosure agreement signed about they can't talk about it at all until it's completely released. I didn't sign such a paper, but they're like, you should take this video off. This is going to get you in trouble.
Did Fantasy Flight?
Who is Fantasy Flight?
No, it wasn't that. No. It's other people.
If Fantasy Flight asked you to take it down, I would take it down.
But if it's like who? Okay, right. I mean, can you type in chat who's telling you this?
No, the playtesters have signed an NDA. They can't talk about it until it's released. Yeah. But if they show you something and don't say, they don't have to sign an NDA. I mean, they just said, hey, you just don't talk about it until after.
They didn't give you an embargo date or nothing.
No, I'm not a play tester. I kind of.
How did you play it?
I'm not gonna go into the hows of how I played it or why I have it, but I'm just gonna say, that yes. I wasn't sure.
Stop talking now.
Yeah, I have the video, so I don't know. I don't know what I should.
I would post it, and if FFG or whatever contacts you, just say, "Oh, sorry," and take it down.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't sign the agreement, so.
Well, here's the thing: someone who you played with did, right?
Yeah. So I'll give you the legal advice. So the NDAs that get signed by the playtesters specifically say that this is automatically extends to anyone that you played the game with.
Maybe.
Yeah, so if one of the people you played with is a playtester, then technically that NDA applies to you also.
Interesting. All right, that's what I was wondering.
I would hide the video.
Because the whole thing is most companies do not have to go and say, okay, who are you playing this with, and send NDAs for everybody. Some do, but the whole point is that they need you to play the game and getting your feedback and collecting whatever feedback you can get from the people you're playing. But they don't always specifically say you have to play with the same group all the time.
Right.
Because they just want to get the game played as many times as possible, which means you may be playing with other people, but the NDA they sign says somewhere in there.
You should have made it clear to you.
Right. So that says whoever received that prototype copy or the pre-release copy for playtesting or whatever has an NDA, it automatically extends to everybody else who's played the game.
Well, I was also surprised, too, because I sat on that video for like 3 or 4 months, and apparently it's until it's completely released. Like, they're not allowed to talk about it until it's released, which I think is kind of crazy.
You're talking about a company that didn't release that they were even putting the game out.
Here's the thing. They could also put a strike on your YouTube channel. You probably don't want that either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, honestly, like it's not worth whatever it's giving you. Being the only one with one. I mean, is it published right now? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got like 300 hits or something. I mean,
okay.
What?
It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably. I just hit play on it and it started playing. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not worth. It's probably not worth the downsides of it. If you know what I mean.
I might reach out to them, shoot them an email.
Yeah, right to them. Actually, hide it first, then talk, then ask them. I mean, That's what I would do. It's not like you're losing views over it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I agree.
I'm gonna have to watch this later because I was going to talk about this game, but I don't know if I want to know all the details though.
I would ask. I was going to ask. Did anybody have any grievances?
Grievances? No grievances. My life is great.
I
took my daughter to her first baseball game tonight.
Did you like it?
She's just completely overstimulated, so she was just laughing and talking for like the first hour, and then she was like, "Okay, feed me, and I'm going to lay down." And then we just were like, "You know what? Let's go home." I mean, it was like a $5 minor league game. So
I just went to one of them last week.
Yeah, I hate baseball, but it was fine.
So do I.
I love baseball.
I love it when I'm trying to sleep, put it on.
Yeah. Baseball's awesome. Yeah. I don't know. I probably had a grievance at some point, but
I have one, but I think I'm not going to share it. Because it's my own stupidity, and I don't know if it would have mattered. Whatever, I'll just talk about it. So it's not really a grievance. It's just kind of a stupid way to run a Kickstarter, I think. Where if you've done 2,000 Kickstarters, you don't necessarily notice these kinds of things. Like kind of went in the Kickstarter Pledge Manager. The Seventh Continent. If you back the Seventh Continent, you get to choose your shipping date, of which there were 3 choices, I believe. One was as soon as possible, and then one was like during July or something. There was 3 tiers of shipping, and the default was after August 28th or 26th, something like that. Some date after August something.
Right.
And that was the default. So me doing Kickstarter backers for 7 years now, whatever it's been, clicked all the defaults, paid for the game, and have now this after August 28th or whatever the date is. What does that mean? Does that mean I'll get the game this year? All it means to me is now that I get the game after August 28th. Like, they can send it to me next year and it would technically be in there within the... I know they're not going to do that. Probably. I will tell you when I get the game.
That might just be their release date, and they
why would they put a default
or something?
Why would a Kickstarter?
Do they charge extra to get it earlier?
As I understand it, I wish Keith was on here because he actually took the time and read all the fine details about it and clicked the right one. So I just did the default and I looked and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, this is after August 27th or 28th or whatever. So to me, that's like I guess maybe in their mind it makes sense, but to me, it like now I've given them an unlimited amount of time to ship me the game while other people will have the game. Is that a fair grievance, or am I being like a?
Well, no, I mean, and that's
sort of a.
Here, this is my thing about that particular game, Seventh Continent. I did a video for that like 1,000 years ago when they
like and 3 or 4 years ago when it.
Yeah. So.
Two, 3.
Well, yeah, whatever. And so they always said, "Oh, don't bother backing it. We'll send you a full copy."
Oh, you're gonna get a free copy?
They said, "Yeah, we'll." And I was like, "We'll send you a full copy." And I was like, "Are you sure? I mean, I can back it." No. We'll send you a full copy. We really appreciate you, doing the video. And I was like, "All right, that's cool." And so I always I realize it's like end of August is supposedly when U.S. shipping starts. It's one of those things where it's like in the back of my lizard brain, in the back of my head is like saying, they're not going to send you a copy of that game. It's good. They're going to forget, and then I'm not going to be able to get one. In the back of my head, I just had that said because that game Outlast that was a pretty cool apocalyptic post-apocalyptic worker placement game. They promised me a copy too, and then basically they said, "Oh, well, we're having shipping problems, and so we can't get one to you." And so it's in the Kickstarter version of it, and I said, "Look, I can back it. It's no big deal." No, don't bother. We'll get you one. They were really same deal. And like the Kickstarter version of that with all the deluxe components looks really, really cool. And admittedly, I don't have to have that. But it's also now because of whatever, like they've had some distribution problems. You can't even find Outlast like in stores yet. It's just it's like in this weird nebulous like problem right now, and nobody really knows exactly what's going on. Backers have got their game, but
yeah, I got one.
I'll buy yours.
Yeah, we had one for a spring. BG spring in May.
Yeah, and so and it's just I just not going to get one, and it's just like
you might. They're going to be at Gen Con, so why don't you just go say hi? I mean, don't necessarily hit him up, but just be like, hey guys.
It does put him in a weird position where he was promised one and then he has to ask for it. Like I always feel that's a weird position to put someone into. Right?
It
like when you forget.
Yeah,
like I forgot to pay Forrest's Kickstarter last year, so I put him in a weird position to ask me for the money I promised him on the air. So I know from experience what I did, right? And you know what I mean, like that, just to put someone in that position where you.
I got no problem with it. Lance, what's my $40?
Back to the original grievance. I now have given this company. I don't remember the name of the company. Which they're doing a promo for BGG, so I'm not really. This is just like me as a gamer personally, right? Like I have now given them carte blanche on shipping me the game. Like,
all right.
If something goes wrong,
so
they're not committed to me to ship me the game before August 28th, and technically, it says after August 28th.
Yeah,
so
well, okay. I'm
CSIing
this. Just going through the stuff here.
Believe me, it's a long dark tunnel, and I started looking down it, and I was like, you know what? I don't have the time for this.
All right, I figured out what this is.
So, all right, give me the lowdown.
So the three choices were as soon as possible,
right?
Sometime after July 31st.
Yeah, what do you do?
And then sometime.
Why would I not want the game as soon as possible?
Well, sometime after the August. Yeah, they should have done that. That should have been the default. But then again,
before a date or before a date.
So I don't know if they explained it anywhere, but this is my thinking of it. Because they're not here
in America,
and they have a company doing it for them.
Yeah.
Their whole thing was the year after August, whatever it is, they didn't even send your name over to them because it says that if you're in this after August 28th, right? If you're in the after August 28th, they can still change your shipping info. So if you've moved or whatever, they can update it, which means they haven't even sent it over to the shipping company yet. That's how
that was the default choice. I feel like that should not have been the default as a consumer because I want the game as soon as possible. I've been waiting for this game for years.
Right, but the point is, if nobody checks the box,
but the people who care,
as soon as possible,
the people who care about that, which is probably the minority, right? Not the majority. The minority of people move, right? Like you're going to get a couple percentage of people move, change addresses, whatever. I'm going to be out of the city. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be out of the country. Those people should have to jump through the hoops, not me, right? Like I had to go through and basically. And look, this is a first world problem. I get it. Like I'm just being. If we want to fill the air with grievance times, which I don't honestly have very many of these days, but I did with this one. I was just
it looks like they did it.
So I talked to Keith, and Keith.
I got sending it all to them at once.
Yeah,
they have everything. They have everything.
They have it all. It's all in America. It's all here. It's all in Texas.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So there's my grievance. It's just frustrating because that's I don't really look forward to too many things, but that's one of them. And now I'm waiting an indefinite amount of time because basically
I filled out a Kickstarter
I've told
survey
them
today.
to send me whenever they want to. Apparently, like from here to infinity.
I filled out a Kickstarter survey today to a game that doesn't deliver till next June. So,
yeah. Which game?
Crusaders. That will be done.
I knew it was. Hey, I got
send the surveys out that quickly.
I got a shipping notice for Storm Hollow today.
Yes, they've been checking it out.
So here's what's gonna happen. You're not gonna be home when it delivers, and you're not, and they're gonna send it back.
No, I got people that will.
You got people.
I got people.
Did you guys see those poker chips that Brass did?
Well, they have. You haven't seen them yet. I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, if you let me put on my poker chip.
Here we go.
My poker chip cat here. They're going to be a resin resin slash like they're not going to be clay chips. They're going to be 8 or 9 gram.
There's no such thing as clay chips.
Well, no, there are, but they're extremely brittle and nobody uses them anymore. But you can find antique old clay chips, which is a true thing. I know what you're doing, and I don't like it, but that's fine.
As long as you know.
Yes.
Wait, Lance, can you check your buzzer? See if it's working?
Shut up. No. So they will be a like the way they make like poker chips is like if I'm right. So, and I could very well be incorrect. So I'm pretty sure of this. It's not going to be a compression mold chip. It's not going to be like anything like that. What it's going to be is it's going to be like the actual plastic, and then they use a heat process, like a heat transfer process, where they embed the ink within like the plastic or like the epoxy that is the actual chip, and ultimately like the chips themselves are done really, really well. I mean, it's just like because they can't fade on you or anything like that. And usually they put a very, very nice satin like finish on it, so they have like a little bit of friction between the two of them. I'm very tempted to purchase like the extra 200 for like $70 because I think they would be very good for 18xx games. The chips that they have for those. If they are the type of chips that I think like they're called ceramic, but they're not really ceramic. I mean, it's a poor word for how those poker chips are made. But anyway, never mind. I'm blathering. I like talking about poker chips because I think it's a cool world or whatever.
I met a guy who used really. He said they were really old school, but rubber poker chips. I really enjoyed playing with those the one time I did.
I think I know what you're talking about, and if they are, I got to remember what the actual like. It's I have a set actually. I have a set that I found at a rummage sale, and I forget the actual like what it was called. I'd have to go find my set. I have a bunch of old collections of poker chips. Poker chips that were like worth like stupid amounts of money. Like if you have like old antique ones.
I bought a set of poker chips in an auction, picking them up at BGG.
What kind?
Mini ones.
Oh yeah, I have 2 cases of those.
Yeah. Nothing special, but I wanted something that I could carry with me in my suitcase easily with an 18xx game when I traveled.
Do not take them on a carry-on if you can help it. You will get stopped every single time. They will stop you, and they will open it because they have a metal slug insert, and they will want to know why you have those in there because they want to see if there's anything. So if you are gonna take them on a plane, and it's in a carry-on, you every single time they will open up your bag.
Because I took poker chips to Vancouver and in my carry-on and didn't get stopped at all.
What kind of poker chips were they?
Just regular ones from Amazon.
I mean, I'd have to know the type, but I mean, if they have any kind of a metal slug inside of them.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't in my carry-on. It was in my checked bag.
1 second.
I like those little mini chips. Have you seen those?
I was just talking about that. I'm picking up a copy.
Yeah, those are pretty nice.
I actually about a month ago, I was just on BGG. It might have even been when I was on the Alaboom, but all of a sudden I got a notification from BGG that a game I wanted was on a geek list, and there's this guy that posted like this 300 game auction, and it was just started, and it was for Gen Con pickup, and I just went through and I had like the first pick of everything, and so I like binned like 4 or 5 games.
You're that guy who brags about everything. Anyway. No, so like I remember. No, like are these?
Yeah, those are the minis.
Yeah, and
similar, very similar.
So like I remember there was this like it was called Discount Poker Shop is what it was called, and they had these cases of these on sale for $7 a piece, and I picked up 2 of them, and now I've always kicked myself later
Should have bought 100 of them.
Well, I should have bought every single case they had.
Bathtub up with poker chips.
They go for a lot of money on BGG auctions right now.
These are about the size. Oh, they don't make them anymore. These go.
We live in a world where we send a space shuttle to the.
These are about the size of a quarter.
Make poker chips.
They just don't. They're not valuable.
Yeah, they're about the size of the quarter, and like because poker.
You guys heard of Alibaba?
Yes, we've heard of Alibaba, but poker. These will never be played with by a poker player. They don't like them. They're not big enough. They don't have enough weight to them.
Gamers.
But people don't realize that there is a gamer world for poker chips. It just
gave me an idea.
Well, there you go.
I just called Alibaba. Alibaba. Has anybody worked with you? Well, you know what? I'm talking with the competitor to Alibaba. I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah, but Alibaba, I mean, I've heard about people that have bought poker chips to them, and they're crap.
You push a button, and you get a quote within an hour of something. You come up with something in your mind, Lance, and it can be created in an hour.
Well, then you're sitting on a gold mine.
Sitting on a gold mine. A poker chips for $7. Apparently, because $7 is the cost, right? Because that's what.
Well, no, I mean those
were the cost.
It was weird. It was like they said. I remember the old sale, and the sale had gone on forever. They must have had just thousands of these.
Yeah,
and they were a ding and dent thing because there were like, and you can't even see, but there were like little tiny dents in the case, and so they were like, oh yeah, we can't sell these. So yeah, for like they were selling them for $7.95 a piece, and I just picked up 2 of them, paid $10 shipping. And I got them in the mail. I was like, these are pretty sweet. And I was like, and then I threw them in the back of my gaming room, and I didn't even think about them. Now you just can't get them. You just, because normally, like when you have a case with poker chips in it, it weighs like 15 pounds, and like lugging it around is a pain in the ass. But
if minis are awesome.
Yeah, but the minis, like this thing weighs maybe 2 pounds, and it doesn't really bother you to carry it. So, but yeah. The rubber chips that you're talking about, I'm guessing they were probably Faber chips, and they're just an old school poker chip. And yes, old rubber are pretty cool, and very you can pick them up on it's not cheap. They're
made of rubber.
Well, yeah, they're not like a true bounce a rubber ball type rubber, but I mean, yeah, they're like
the famous Eberhard Faber rubber poker chips.
Maybe, but I remember I've always had people in like saying in poker chip form, they talk about their Faber chips. Like, oh, and I got a rare set of Faber. For
that Tupperware made
Baba
poker chips.
I believe
for
it.
A while.
I why wouldn't they? Just people do things to make money. Obviously. Oh shoot! I'm yawning.
Alibaba. I see 2 gram 2 color poker chips. Mini poker chips.
Every single person I've ever heard that has gone through Alibaba to get their poker chips has said it's like they are just shit. They are not done well, and they are not. They are. And isn't Alibaba like a complete and total like knockoff place, basically?
No.
And
it's basically a place where it's like an eBay for game parts. If you want things manufactured.
They like sell everything that like you buy novelty stores or
thousands of manufacturers all in one place, and you basically look and if you want 2 gram poker chips, you can click a button and search for them, and you'll find a manufacturer that'll make them for you. And they'll give you a quote within usually an hour to 2 hours.
You use Alibaba for a lot of stuff?
We started to.
Like for what?
I haven't we haven't sold anything from them yet, but the orders, the creations are in process.
If you say so.
If I basically I can push a button and get an order from a manufacturer in China. That's what it is. Right? Yeah. Come up with some idea for something. Push a button. They'll email you within an hour.
You can get
at least that's our experience.
You can get 200,000 of them for $10,000.
Penny a piece. Yeah, something.
They're 2.7 to 5 cents a piece.
Yeah,
so
usually
10,000 would be the most.
Usually those minimums are like fudgeable, right? Like you can order things that are smaller quantities than that. It's just cool. We live in a weird world. Me and Chad were exploring Alibaba last week and just coming up with all kinds of ideas, fabricating things.
Like what?
I'm not going to tell you right now. I'll tell you offline. I'm not going to like
Lance,
until I have the thing in my hand. I'm not going to promote
Lance,
it.
Just think of something. Like a realistic thing, but something that hey, I wonder if they make those.
Come up with some kind of
slip and slides,
plastic tarps.
Okay, slip and slide.
No, you got to come up with something.
I'm putting slip and slide in.
Okay.
All right, so
share your screen. Share your screen. Yeah. You could make a Bowers T-shirt beer koozie, Bowers Corner koozie.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you'd like to order a giant dragon inflatable water slide.
Believe me, I've spent many hours on Alibaba just to see what's out there. It's just crazy.
Yeah, the 2017 crazy and popular slip and slide, largest inflatable slide in the city. So like those big, huge ones you've seen, they're $90 to $2,900 per piece, and the pieces are hold on.
Wait! Did you just say $90 to $2,900?
Well, if you want like a 5 block,
these are the ones that like you can put them down like a city street and slide like across the city.
Yeah, but $90 to $2,900, that seems like a really large price range.
It depends on how long you want it.
Search for wooden cubes or something like that, or search for dice.
I want a $90 for those dragons.
Well, I know, whatever. This is a distraction. But anyway, Alibaba is kind of wacky.
It is wacky.
Live in a weird world.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's not really the Amazon of the East. It's basically if you want something made in a manufacturer plant, that's what you do. With very minimal interfacing with humans. It's like it's all automated.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that isn't in any way a competitor to what we do.
Well, I don't want to say that. Okay, what's next? What are we going to talk about? Because I'm going to head out if nothing else.
I was trying to think of something else. Has anybody just to refresh my memory? Has anything come out like that's going to be in like really small quantities for sale? I know they have this.
All the Taiwan board game design games are.
Yeah, I gotta reach out to, and I'll just wander over to his booth and just give him some cash and get climbers. That'll be easy enough.
That's not Taiwan board game design, but yeah.
No, that isn't. The Golem thing. Did you hear about that? If you're one of the first 50 people to walk over to Plan B Games and say I'm here for the Golems, they'll give you a free copy of the Century Spice Road Golem edition.
Yeah, that's super awesome on their part.
Cool.
How many? And here's the deal. Are they going to wait until it actually?
Yes.
Opens up?
It says on the thing that starting at 10 o'clock.
Okay, because I just
how are not all the VIGs going to be lined up?
But here's the deal: the VIGs are just going to line up and get it anyway.
Come on, it's probably the best thing that a VIG will get out of the whole. Are you guys giving anything to the VIG?
No.
As Tasty Minstrel? Yeah.
Well, Tasty, we've always said, if somebody's willing to give us money, we're going to take it. That's what we've said, because
right. But usually the VIGs are promoted as a special. They get promos or free stuff or whatever.
They get that stuff in the VIG room.
Oh, is it all collected now outside of
their games are collected and delivered to them?
Some guy came up to me last year. He's like, I'm VIG. You got anything for me? I'm like, no.
No, the VIGs get their stuff in the VIG room.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Do they get like goodie bags or something?
Have you ever looked in that VIG room?
Wait, 5 or 6 years ago, AEG
unlimited Cokes and ice.
AEG sent over a full board game for each one of them, like a big size board game. I don't know what they sent over, but they had a whole pallet that went over to the VIG room.
Yeah, and by the way, they had all the sodas they wanted. You know,
$50,000 worth.
Yeah, maybe,
cool.
Maybe.
Hey, you could have $50,000 worth of sodas. You'd be like 3 cans at that hotel.
Yeah,
3,000.
I cannot be held accountable for the way you're.
Whatever. I'm just pushing a button.
I'm really looking forward to the room temperature pink lemonade, though. I think that'll be amazing. I think
Oh, the experience will be the amazing part.
Hey,
you'll all forget all about the warm pink lemonade.
It's all about the glass cocker.
Oh man, just to hear when I walked in, that was like I walked in there and I was like, this sucks. And I was like, all right, well, I had a soda and everything. I'm drinking that.
Better than nothing.
And then Shane Myerscough walks in from Gray Fox. He just says, "What the fuck is this?" I
want to know what convention you go to that caters and gives you all that free stuff.
Dice Tower
didn't charge you for it.
Well, I don't know. Dice Tower Con, their room for vendors was ridiculously good. I don't know what their deal is like.
But how many vendors were there?
I don't know. 20?
I can take care of 20. I can't take care of 200.
You had 200 vendors?
We have about 400 vendor badges.
All right. Well, I mean, no, there was 20 vendors as far as how many vendor badges each person has.
We have over 100. We have over 100 vendors at BG.
Well, all I know is that we got one free lunch. Like it was like a bagged lunch, and it was really good. Like it was like a Chris sandwich with like turkey and.
That's one nice thing about doing convention in a hotel. They don't have that bullshit food policy stuff. At least I don't think they do.
Well,
we can go out and buy food and have it brought into the convention center, right? Like I don't know if there's any rules against that.
I don't know either, but
I don't know. Hotels are hard to deal with that stuff.
Well, your hotel you're at is a bunch of jerks. That's all I gotta say about that. You know, what do you
should leave?
Yeah,
we are.
Oh, it's good. See,
2019. No, but the spring convention will be at that hotel.
That you're so publicly.
It's a great hotel. I don't want to give the wrong impression.
Okay, because I was curious because you're pretty open and like, oh, this is our last year doing this or whatever. But then I'm like, is that going to cause like crappy relationships for the next 2 years going forward with that hotel?
No, we already told them.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Well, notice that Lance got pink lemonade instead of unlimited Cokes this year or past year.
You know, I didn't.
We told them last year we were leaving, and the Coke flow got turned off. The flow of free Coke was shut down.
I'd like the record to show that I was not in there sucking down Cokes left and right.
Well, somehow 2,500 Cokes got drank that weekend, and I don't know how, but that's what they showed us on a bill. It's a lot of Coke.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of Cokes.
And up to that point, they were just free, and then they decided to charge them for you that year.
They were giving them. Well, I don't know. I don't know the story, but the Cokes got turned off. Free Coke, the Coke filling of the refrigerator in the vendor hall got turned off last year, and was replaced with pink lemonade
and normal lemonade,
peanut,
and bags of peanuts. It was
peanut, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, let's move on.
You know, I'm willing to talk.
Can we talk about games or something?
Play any more
all the Taiwan board games designs are $20, or sorry, they only have 20 copies of each one, and they're you have to pre-order them basically.
You should get a copy of Lisboa if you don't have one. I heard those are going to be in limited.
Yeah, I think they're those are limited, right? They ran out of copies or something.
Mesquite edition.
Slightly
Slightly singed.
Oh, so good.
And I really,
I got a grievance
I
about
don't like to.
Lisboa.
Yeah, Paul Tompkins asked is that. Yeah, BG Spring is the same hotel. The hotel is awesome, by the way. I'm just being silly, not complaining about the hotel. It's a great hotel.
Mesquite edition.
What? No, God, no, I lost my train of thought.
All right, Forrest has a grievance.
So Lisboa, god damn it, they need to knock that shit off. That is just it's an okay. I like the game, but there's just so much shit they crammed into that game. Like seriously, just watch like 5 minutes of the watch it played video, and it's just like
He did a tutorial.
I didn't do it. Hell no, I didn't do a tutorial.
No.
Not
Rodney,
you,
Rodney
cheat.
did a tutorial.
No. It was
You said watch it play.
it was Paul.
Paul Tompkins. Okay.
Yeah,
Game
sorry.
rules.
Gaming rules.
And it's
Krogan.
just preposterous how much stuff there is. Like I played so many games, and I literally had no idea what was going on until 2 hours into the game, and I didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing, like the scoring, until 75% into the game.
You should bring me your copy. Forrest.
I didn't. I completely disagree. I didn't get that at all.
Well, yeah.
Did you do the rules?
You weren't high when you were playing it though. So
Oh,
Wait, Lance, did you see the video I posted in our Facebook group thing?
no, I didn't.
Oh, what Forrest's early magic act?
No.
Oh, when you get a chance, go watch that video. It's just fucking hysterical.
So, what did you think of that compared to Vinyos? I like Vinyos a lot better than this one
So
personally.
how long did it take you to play?
3.5 hours, which I definitely think it would shorten down drastically the second game. Like I'm going to play it solo tomorrow or Friday as well and get a 4-player game in this weekend before I review it. But once it started to click, it was starting to click. But man, there's just so much stuff.
How many
in there.
players?
We did a 2-player tonight.
2-player, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's a little long. I found it to be one of the shorter of his games. We played 4-player. 3 of us were brand new, and 1 player played one time before. And I think we clocked it in right at 2 hours.
Wow. I don't know what we were doing wrong, but I mean,
What mechanisms are in it? Is it auction? Is it like trading? Is it deck building? Is
it's card
worker placement?
It's card-driven action selection. So you play a card, do an action, draw another card. That's basically
The cards have multiple uses.
Yeah, you can put them in your tableau, and you can put them in the on the board to actually take the actions. And then each action that you choose has like 2 sub actions and a main action, and you're basically just trying to do area control on the board. But he's right. There is a lot of auxiliary stuff. There's like a priest track, which is like a little. You can get little technology tiles that kind of help you build a little engine. There's like shipping in the game. There's goods production, but it's very minor. And then there's like set collection of like these rubble cubes. There's a lot of stuff in it.
and then like you take the cubes off when you finally get 3 sets, and then you can use those for one very specific thing. And I like the game. I mean, I'm excited to play it some more. And I have a feeling this is the kind of game where if I played games a lot over a course of a year or two, then it'd be a game I'd keep. But it's just, man, it was just so much. I got the impression that it was just like, hey, look how cool of a designer I am. Look how I can make all this nifty stuff work together, even though it's just too much.
Joe, was it you or Ryan on your podcast that made the comment about Vital saying that someone needs to sit with him when he designs and just at one point go, okay, you're done. Stop.
Yeah.
I
Well,
believe that.
I've said a couple of times that I feel like when Alexander Pfister designs a game, it's like designing a game that Vito Lacerda would, but knowing when to stop. Because they're both very good at making these games with all these mechanisms that work together really well. But Pfister's always go just on the edge of being like, oh, this is really well designed, where Vito Lacerda is just, for the most gamers, are like, feels incredibly overwrought. So
That's the impression I got. And I didn't feel that about Vinyos or when I tried the Gallerist. But this one, man, it just did it for me.
Kanban does that
I
to a
still
lot of
liked
people. Kanban is the one that a lot of people say is like really complicated.
So.
That's the Stronghold one. I've never got a chance to play that one.
Yeah, that's the one that a lot of people said was like one of the most. I mean, that has like a crazy high weight rating on BGG, but the BGG rating is ridiculously like one-sided in ways. So I think Kanban is like a 4-point something, and it's like a 5-point scale. It's like a high 4-point something.
And you think it should be lower?
Well, it's the thing that it's like Kanban is being rated by people that play medium weight Euros,
right?
And it's a really heavy game to them.
Yeah,
whereas people that are playing like 18xx games are rating like the lighter end of 18xx games like a 3.1 because to them. But the people that played Kanban aren't playing that game, and there's no way that I'm going to call Kanban heavier than any 18xx game.
I feel like the heaviness of a game. It's such a hard.
It's just a.
It's probably the most It's probably the most nebulous thing to try to put your finger on.
Because honestly, that game heavy. Played it. It's not that complex. It's just like you have 4 actions you can take on your turn potentially.
Play a card, draw a card. That's all you do. Play a card, draw a card.
If you want to see the disparity of the weight given to games, just go check out the war games.
Yeah,
there are war games on there that you can hand to people and they'd go, "Oh, this is pretty complicated." I mean, it's not bad. I get it. It's pretty complicated. And you look at the rating and it's like 1. 1 out of 5.
It's because they're being rated by war gamers.
Right. For a war gamer, that's like 1. That's like simple. But for other people, that would probably be like at least a 2.5 or a 3.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You mean a 5-point scale doesn't work for 80,000 games? Hey, Barry.
Yeah.
Are you still doing tube toppers or tube?
Yeah.
What is it called?
Yes.
Tube?
Yes, he is.
No, it's tube something.
Yeah, I go into the forum once in a while. I haven't been real active in it.
What's the name of it?
Or the videos.
What I said it wrong, right?
It's tabletop or
tube.
No, I don't even fucking remember.
It's tube something.
Yeah.
Tube
stick?
I gotta look on the thing there. Did you mean the videos, Aldi?
Yeah, the video build.
No, I haven't made a video.
Tube sucks.
I have been thinking about it.
Is it tube tables? Table tubers?
Yeah.
No, it's tube. It's tube tables.
Yeah.
It's totally tube tables. You guys thought I was joking.
Tube tables.
Yeah,
I got a tube table for it.
I thought it was a Gateway Gamer.
Yeah, that's my channel.
There's like 40 active YouTube channels in there.
Tragic to Blathering started this a couple years ago, and it's a guild on BGG.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I had them on my channel a couple times with the sit downs and all that. You know, but no, I haven't made a video in about a year. I am thinking about starting up again. I'm starting to get the feeling back in my hands and all that. The concentration's coming back.
You been playing any games or just kind of chilling?
I played a couple. I played First Martians. What the hell was that game I played with Jamie yesterday? It's Chris Lauder and Daryl Lonius and
Fate of the Elder Gods.
Elder Gods, yeah, I played that yesterday.
Did you like
me
it?
and Jen. Yeah, it was okay. It's like an area control-ish worker place. It's a little weird, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Me and Jen finished what the hell? Not Cthulhu Realms. Mythos Tales. We finished that up yesterday.
Oh, you finished all of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
it's a pretty good game.
And we're thinking about the Sherlock Holmes Consultant Detective expansion with the Jack the Ripper campaign.
Yeah.
I have it. We're thinking about starting that one. Jen got really burnt out with the channel, and then, like I said, when I got my hands cut, it took almost a year for him to come back.
From your personal taking care of yourself, or no? Sorry.
Yeah. I'm just starting to get the feeling back in him. I just actually started wiring the shop the other day because I could feel the tools in my hands again. You know. But yeah, like I said, I've been thinking about it.
You're not going to Gen Con, right?
Nah. Too many people.
Ugh.
There's a lot of people, and it's sold out. Every day is sold out. Sold out. I'm actually very like, if last year wasn't sold out, like, I'm kind of very curious what this year's going to be.
I think maybe, I don't even know if the sellout number is even higher than what last year was or anything, but I feel like the city of Indianapolis made Gen Con cap it rather than the vice versa.
It could be, yeah.
Because what does Gen Con care how many tickets they sell?
How does
I'm sure the fire department had something to do with it.
Yeah, like, you know. I'm pretty sure that the city of Indianapolis had more to do with the capping of Gen Con than Gen Con as a entity did.
Well, I guess we'll see what their max capacity is, because it's completely sold out.
Well, that's the thing. They might have like overdone their max capacity. Maybe the city just said, "Look, you guys, we can't do this much."
Wouldn't it be great if it was like 20,000 people less than last year?
I don't see that happening.
I wouldn't care at all. Wouldn't bother me one bit.
I see every game convention growing, at least 10% next year.
Gen Con's got to go somewhere because Indianapolis is done.
It's not going to go anywhere.
Going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere, and it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
It's limited. They've hit their cap, just like BGG Con.
But it's not going anywhere.
Except their cap is
2019, right? 2019 is when their contract is till.
Yeah, but where are they going to go? Everybody always says, "Oh, they could go to Vegas. Oh, they could go to LA. Oh, they could go here." They want to be in the center of the country. They
go to Chicago.
But Chicago isn't any better. People have always said you can go to Chicago. There's no place in Chicago that has a better location.
Yeah, did you see the pictures from Comic-Con this year? Nobody wants that.
I'm
just limit the number of people.
I'm curious if Cleveland could do better than Indianapolis.
No. It's just the Indianapolis Convention Center is huge. I mean, it is absolutely huge. You would be hard pressed to find a larger convention center that is in the middle of the nation.
Yeah,
with the amenities that they have. Yes,
around it.
That
city was built to do conventions.
Yes, and it is. Everybody's like, "Oh, it needs to go someplace better."
Gen Con broke it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they've reached a critical mass point, and but the sooner people wrap their heads around the fact that there just isn't, people. The one thing I see, I was thinking about this. The one thing that I see happening with Gen Con is that they could really start mucking things up. Is people are going to seriously, if we have another sellout next year, if that like happens again, people are really going to start figuring out ways to screw with the system, like finding the workarounds, finding the back doors to like get their badge early, to figure out a way to get to because all of the vendors and Aldi knows this, all the vendors got emailed when they basically started running out of badges. They're like, you can't sell these badges. You can't just give vendor badges to people. It's just it's you can't do this. Like, and so yeah, and then what they did was it was like I think vendor badges were $80 or $90, and so all the vendors weren't listening and they were just ordering more, and they said fine, they're $130, and people were still buying vendor badges. They were just like, because people had friends who were saying, I need a badge. Okay, we'll get you one. And the thing is, I mark my words, is that there are going to be so many people that got vendor badges this year that normally wouldn't have it, that are going to be like, holy crap, look at all this access that I have. I get in early, I can wander around, I can stay in late, They're going to crack down on it. I mean, it's just like they're going to have limitations next year. I mean, or they're going to have something where it's like, if you have a vendor badge, they won't.
On your booth size.
Well, maybe, but I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you get GM badge if you're doing events. You can get GM badges, which
it's just like the fact that like what is it? It's like the like how for a fact that like there's that weird scramble for a hotel when even as a vendor, like getting hotels is tough.
Mm-hmm.
But for a fact that like the big vendors, like the people that have a giant swath of real estate, and we all know who they are on that dealer hall, they're not looking for hotel rooms.
No.
They've already got their block. Gen Con's already set them up, and they're good to go. They have all their
That's
rooms.
why at a certain date you can get your hotel rooms moved.
Well, but there's also somebody brought up a good point that said, Gen Con doesn't run out of hotels as fast as what people think they do or what the podcasts say they do, because there's still hotels available to be gotten, but the spoiled gamer mentality says, well, if I don't get it for the Gen Con rate, I'm not going to get one.
Right.
Well, I mean, you can pay.
Gen Con rate is like $500 a night.
Yeah.
You can pay $5 a night and you can have a decent room. The big thing is that I think the big thing that people don't realize is that people get spoiled in the fact that it's like, well, if I'm not next to the convention, I'm not going. I mean, it's just like, and that includes like I'm not walking 4 blocks, to get to the.
I see that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't want to have to. I don't have to walk that far. It's just like
the 4-block hotels go get sold out though.
No, they do. But I mean,
the 10-mile hotel.
I have said
the first year I went to Gen Con, I stayed 40 minutes outside of town, and when I checked into the hotel that night, me and my wife, the guy at the thing said, "Here for Gen Con?" I'm like, I'm 40 minutes away.
Yeah. Truck stops never sell out. Tell you that much.
Neither does Forest Cars.
All right.
No, it's one of those things where it's you never really have if you don't want to have a huge problem or whatever, you have to figure out the scams. You have to figure out the weird things and then sneak in. And
well, do you need a badge to play in the main gaming hall?
You have to get in. Yeah, they won't let you in the door unless you have a.
Who's checking the badges at the door? I'm not talking about the exhibit hall.
Yeah, the guy's standing out. They got people that work there sitting outside checking badges. This year,
as you walk in the convention center.
No. Convention center is technically it's public property.
Right.
So you can walk in the convention center and walk through the hallways, whatever. To go into any of the rooms or the halls, there's people outside the doors checking badges.
That main gaming hall has people checking?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep. I mean, you could probably get by if you were like sneaky or whatever, but I mean,
it's even if you have your badge on and it's flipped the other way, they stop you and make you turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good about it.
This year, I'm going to tell you, they may actually not allow people to wear their badges inside the badge or those other badge holders, like with the pockets and stuff, because there's already been people who have been talking online about making copies of badges.
That would be a hard thing to enforce.
Yeah, but I'm saying because when they went to the plastic badges now that they have,
well, and mail them out early,
right? But the thing is that there's someone
you can counterfeit.
Yeah,
but I was about to say, I was like, I mean, if you're going to make a counterfeit badge, it's just as easy to make a plastic one. Yeah. I mean, not just as, but still not hard.
Right, but you can do a plastic badge with a friggin' label maker and then just stick it inside one of the other things, and you can't tell that it's
we've had people counterfeit at BGG.
Really?
Yeah. Caught them too. But it's hard to catch because you have to really, well, like you said, you have to look very closely.
I just want to know what those people said. What did they say? What was their reasoning? Or did they just run?
You can't chalk that up as an accident.
Yeah, no, they had a reason. It was very whatever. I don't want to get into it.
No, you had to say what was the reason. Just say you don't think.
No.
Just say what the reason was.
Well, they said they tried to buy a badge, but they couldn't get one.
Oh,
well, that's a good.
You didn't want to say that.
Well, there was more to it than that.
Drama.
There was more to it than that. I'm not telling you all the details.
And that guy's name was Burt Reynolds.
Turd Ferguson. Funny name.
So the funny thing about this last story I heard about people copying badges is this girl and her boyfriend apparently like have been coming there for like 5 or 6 years or whatever. And then like the first year they came, they let someone in his family copy the badge to get them in. Mm-hmm. And so this year, apparently he was saying that, oh no, they weren't going to do it. They felt bad about doing it that one time, blah, blah, blah. And then she found out that he told his brother, his sister, and the sister was going to make badges for everyone in the family so they can come. They're apparently local. But the funny thing was the guy, she's broken up with this guy over it, apparently. But the guy is picking up his badge at will call. And then they're making the counterfeits after. So everyone's like, just give them his name and send the email of him saying he's doing this. And they'll just say, oh, I'm sorry. Here's your money back for your badge.
They like had this conversation and broke up with each other over public, like,
because apparently that the brother had asked and they had talked about it and they had agreed they weren't going to do it. And then she found out that he told the brother they was going to do it. And they had this big thing. I can't believe you told them. And he's like, oh, but don't worry about it. What do you care? You know, if she makes badges for everyone, blah, 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 and all this. And so,
yeah, I got to go to bed, guys. It's late.
You're late.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Well,
we got to get a rest for convention next week.
Yeah. I guess everyone but Barry.
Uh-huh.
I will possibly. Barry, it was nice to see you, man.
Hey, Barry, if you change your mind, we have room in our room for you.
Yeah, I'm going to change my mind for a 10-hour ride. To go with 80,000 people. Nah.
All right, well.
I'll lose my temper to these.
All right, wait. So before we go, speaking of 80,000, are we going to take predictions on the exact number, people?
Well, what was it last year?
Last year was 67.
Is that all? I thought it was more than that.
No, I'll go.
I think it was 6. Wait, hold on. Gen Con attendance 2016. Okay, so last year, the turnstile was 201,852. But unique attendance
let's do unique.
Was 60,819.
65.
Okay, Anthony, call on us, and in whatever order. Are prices right rules in effect?
Yeah, but you can't be a dick.
Not going. You can go over. Come on.
All right, so we'll start with
absolute value closest to.
All right, we'll start with we'll go.
Prices right rules are in effect. It's
just closest to.
We're gonna go left to right on my screen. So Barry,
Prices right rules are in effect.
I want to say 63.
63. Forrest.
What was last year? 60,081?
60, and it was just under 61 last year.
We'll go 64.7.
Joe.
65.
Damn it! Small match.
I mean, are we playing closest to or what?
We're playing Prices Right rules. It's the only way you
then
play.
Obviously, I'm going to go 6501 and you go 6502.
Well, don't say 6501 then. Make it a.
Wait, I get the last pick.
I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go 70.
70.
See, now that is a tantalizing.
You know what? No, let's drop it back. Let's go 69.
Yeah.
Lance.
All right. So what was Joe's again?
65.
And we have 69 out of Scott.
It's not that fun.
Then you're not doing it right. Let's go 67. I'm going to go 67.
67. All right. I'm going to go 70,000. And I actually think it is going to be 75,000 or more.
Really?
Oh, that would be so miserable. Oh my goodness, you can't even move.
I hope it's not 75,000.
Because here's the thing to count this year.
Here's the thing.
Indianapolis is going to catch on freaking fire.
But here's the thing to count. There's a lot of single-day badges this year.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
So if you're counting
count,
unique attendance, your unique account is going to go higher. I am guessing that the 75,000 attendees is the max cap. But again, that's 75,000 regular badge attendees. It does not count all of the vendor badges.
What does the stadium hold? Like, what's the max?
It's like 60.
Stadium?
We looked that up the other day. It's like 60 some odd thousand.
And if you look at the actual map they put out in the book and everything, there is a ton of stuff that is not taking place in the convention center this year.
Yeah, don't they have like the whole stadium now?
Oh, not even that. Just the stuff they have in the surrounding hotels. They've expanded that to this ridiculous amount of rooms for RPGs and stuff. So
good.
Well, with that.
All right, I'll see you boys next week.
I will see all of you, but Barry, but it was really good that you chimed in tonight. I appreciate you popping in. How you feeling, buddy?
Oh,
all right for the most part.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Stick around for like 1 minute while Lance logs off.
Yes.
Or not logs off, but
I know.
us off live.
I know what you meant.
All right. Thanks, everybody. If you were at Gen Con, you pop in and I see you, make sure you say hi. And so you can say, I'm a boomer. And I'll be like, you're lying because nobody listens to it.
True.
All right.
Hey, I was officially a boomer last year.
Yeah, you were. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Laters.